Hello, welcome to the first ever live episode of Waiting for Game. Not only is this a historic first guest, Connor Contra.
Somehow.
This is our first live episode, and last week we did a shorts check. I was wearing shorts to our last episode because of how nice it was. This is our first ever time that you can actually see all of us, but you can see the legs. Before we were just like disembodied little bodies, but yeah, this is going to be a really fun episode, a historic first in a lot of ways. Before we get into that, I just want to introduce myself. I'm your host. I'm Giving That Wheat, freed from the shackles of all of Melee Stats, all of Emma Sinister and Edmund Budding, and finally here to do whatever I want.
They're holding you back.
They truly are. This is going to be the first episode of the rest of my life.
It's good to see you start up your solo career.
Yes.
We've all been looking forward.
Honestly, I kind of feel like you guys are riding my coattails on this episode. I might
Definitely a little bit.
I might do a little bit of a solo episode. But for now, we've got a wonderful episode. We've got, of course, we already talked about Connor. Contra, you are the TO of Smash Summit 13.
Yes, they
Presented by Coinbase.
They contracted me to, come help run things and help run the VIP bracket as well. So
yeah. First
really
time at Summit, right?
I've never been to Summit. I worked both main stages, and that went well. And they're very accommodating employers.
Yeah.
But never Summit. This is my first time. It's been great so far.
Okay, so we have a first time Summit. We have a first time Summit for me. Now we've got the big boy. We've got a second time Summit attendee.
Oh my god.
This is like we're all in ninth grade and you've kissed a girl and none of us have.
I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah.
It's a sensation.
This is how it feels basically. No, we've got Webbs, of course. Webbs, this is your third episode? Fourth?
I think it's the fourth if you count that episode that we did that was not a real episode where we were just talking about clips the entire time.
One of our best episodes.
Is that probably one of the most viewed episodes out of it?
If not, it's one of my favorite episodes.
Okay. I had a lot of fun.
So you've joined the 4-timer clubs. Of course, 5-timer clubs, you get a free jacket. 4-timer clubs means that you are never allowed back on the show. We currently do not have the way of making a jacket. So So it's you. Mikey just made it to the 4-timer club. Aiden, I think.
I'm surprised Aiden's only been on 4 times.
He's big dogged us a few times.
So, he has become a large dog.
He is he's a bit of a massive canine. Yeah. I mean, in the days where he was working for Summit, maybe, but he's on to bigger, better things. But obviously, we are not. We're still here. We're talking about Summit. We're having a good time. We got to go to the fucking studio today.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
You guys got a little preview tour, huh?
I got a tour yesterday. I watched the 76ers. I don't remember the outcome of the game.
It's completely
but got to watch with Mikey and Ken, and yeah, just had a really cool time just like walking around that place. Yeah, it's this is day 0, -1?
Yeah, I think this is day 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Day 0, -1 were already
it's the first official day where things are happening, but there's no broadcast.
Yeah.
It's all prep and fun stuff.
I had a call time, technically.
And I just waltzed my ass in there. How many Uncrustables have we all had?
I'm at 0.
Okay, I'm at 0 as well.
We gotta plug in the laptop real quick.
Yeah, we have got some technical difficulties. I guess that comes with the live show.
Imagine not plugging in the laptop. Wheat.
Where is the nearest?
Need some help.
Yeah, we need to solve this quickly before the laptop shuts off.
And the stream just instantly becomes dead.
That's not a. Oh, I don't like that noise.
It's so loud.
Look behind the TV. Is there an outlet back there?
Okay, here we can.
This must be connected to something. Oh Jesus!
Hey, you guys sort this out.
It's literally not.
Okay.
Oh, that's insane.
Oh no.
This is fine.
You need a platform for the.
This is the magic of live.
Welcome to.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
We're panicking.
We did have everything set up really nicely. Really nicely.
Can you try to plug this in?
We're still live. Thank you all for staying with us.
What's great is that this is going to be on every available podcast app. So when you listen to this on Spotify, you get this wonderful moment of panic.
Is this reach?
Yes.
Can you put it on the chair? Oh, we're gonna make it work, baby.
Okay.
Oh my Lord.
And we've got. Oh. Okay.
Unplugged.
We're unplugged.
And then the light is coming.
Okay. The lights. Are the lights flickering too?
It was getting unplugged. I need like 2 inches, 3 inches. Yeah.
Brother, don't we all?
Oh, don't we all?
Okay. This is going swimmingly.
Well, Doc, it all started when I was 12 years old.
Like 20 years ago. Oh god, that was supposed to be a joke. I'm sorry. I know that's.
No, that's pretty accurate.
Are we in? Are we plugged in?
No, I need 2 inches.
Okay.
Now 6
Brother, don't
Can you just move the camera? Oh yeah, get that up close and personal.
Like 2
shot.
more.
What is it?
It's literally. There you go. Okay. God. Oh, it fell out.
There's a lot of double entendres.
It's like fully.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Can we make it happen?
There's a
Fully taut.
chair in frame now.
What a
but
solution.
We've got it.
Oh my god.
We're still in.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Ignore the chair. Okay.
So
76ers game did not happen.
no, and
It's strange that they would cancel a playoff game.
Yeah, that is strange.
I guess they just really thought the Sixers were going to finish winning, and they just decided to move them on to the next round.
Fascinating.
But as you can tell, oh my god, I'm not even in frame.
You have to scoot forward a little bit.
There you go.
There you go.
As everyone can tell, there's a bit of a Fendi-sized hole in this episode.
Yeah.
True.
He didn't want to leave the venue.
We got a lot of fun stuff happening because what we'll have, we got a lot of surprise guests. I know everyone's looking at this and they're like, oh, I really came for Fendi. I don't really care about Webs and Contra. But we've got a lot of guests who are going to stop by, so please do pay attention, stick around. But for now, we've got these two guys. Webs, what is this summit like compared to the other summit? Last you were at Summit 9, right?
Yeah, Summit 9 was the first and only one that I attended up to this point.
Who won Summit?
Who won Summit 9? It was actually the Plub H-Box finals.
H-Box.
Yeah,
yeah,
H-Box beat Plub second set. It was a really good summit actually for gameplay. Finals delivered. But I would say compared to Summit 9, this one, it seems like they're really polished, like how they have all of the
They knew we were
everything
coming.
organized ahead of time.
Yeah.
I remember because at Summit 9 they'd already run a lot of summits at that point, but it was like they were in a new they were in the studio for like maybe the second or third summit only at that point. So they were still sorting some things out. I remember they specifically told us they're building out the studio and gonna be improving it. And now they've got like a cool new production space. They've improved the actual production area. I mean the studio is amazing to begin with, so
Yeah.
I really love BTS. The whole production kind of thing that they put together is incredible.
Definitely very professional.
Yes.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Not generally how I like my smash to be done. But I'll take it. I'm okay with this.
I think it's a good blend between like the quality that you get from a professional broadcast crew and the feel and like vibe you get from a grassroots production.
Yeah.
The quality that I love, especially in podcast form, is when the podcast stops about 5 minutes in because there's a big technical difficulty after already being 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Would BTS do that? I'd say no. And because of that, you might think that we wouldn't work together, but I really liked as a VIP just the experience already. Right. This is not even the first real day of the tournament. Already just the vibes of it all. I was kind of worried. I was a little anxious that I would get here and then I would be like not really knowing people, and the people who I do know would all be too busy to do anything. But it's been really fun. And obviously, of course, like when the tournament starts, that dynamic will change a little bit. But just like even then, it's just like as an attendee of just a VIP, already such a great experience.
Yeah.
Just like really fun to see it all happen. I think I might have ruined a shot of like something they were shooting with H-Box in it. I definitely like
H-Box and Loud we're doing
H-Box.
a little piece.
Someone were doing a little something.
Ooh.
And I my little ass waltzed through to recycle a can.
Ruin the shot.
But that's
cancel.
Either ruin the shot or completed the shot.
That's what I.
well, okay. Here's how I look at it: is that I could have easily thrown it into a lot of trash cans. And
you're being environmentally.
I was being environmentally conscious. I was not being content conscious.
Well, at the end of the day, what's it really going to come down to?
True. What's going to survive longer, the environment or the content?
It's actually a very good question.
It's up for debate.
contentious.
I think that's what we're all trying to figure out.
Oh God! Enough doom and gloom.
Enough doom and gloom.
Summit.
Summit, yeah. So this is kind of a summit that we really haven't seen anything like this. Pipsqueak is not able to go, but even then, before this, it was a case of like like your salts and your blues and your dark genics. It was definitely its own thing, and I think adding mech into it's like it's a cool little proving ground area for Summit. Summit's always been this thing where they've always had meme picks, right?
Usually just a couple.
Yeah,
Usually minimal.
They've been existing for the entire
it's 100% like a tradition.
Yeah,
Almost every single.
Yeah.
I think
Alex 19.
Alex 19, Kage. These are good players, but it's just like everyone's like Summit used to be the 16 best players, and it's like that.
It's really never been that.
Never been that. But this is kind of interesting, right? They're forming this identity recently. Summit 12 was a little bit like this. It was the first one where every single person took a set. But this one, it feels even more like that, right? It has this identity of like, this is a chance to prove to people who they are. A lot of people didn't even know who Blue was, stuff like that.
I mean, it's not just prove who they are; it's show who they are. A lot of these players to the community at large are still, if not unknown, obscured, right?
Yeah.
They don't know much about them. So, for example, you brought up Mac. He's somebody who has been, I don't want to say thrust, but he's achieved a lot more attention in the last year or two. Net play tournaments, and then starting to grow his stream. And
for sure,
he goes down to Low Tide City and picks up a second place in out of
Pizza
nowhere.
Axe.
Pizza.
Yeah,
picks up
beats
a big
Axe
win.
in losers finals. I mean, not only to beat Axe, but to beat him in losers finals. Like that's
to get that far.
That's incredible.
Another thing that Summit offers some of these like sort of maybe second level up and comers is their personalities get put on display. They get to act in some skits. They get to maybe go on the couch, talk about their wins, their losses after.
I mean, like you get to hear from all of them because they have the fifth mic.
Oh yeah,
the fifth mic is, I think, one of the coolest parts of Summit. Originally they didn't have it at the early Summits.
Yeah.
They started implementing it towards the end of the time when they were in the old house. It was like a freestanding microphone. It's like very different vibes, but it's become just a part of Summit is to really rope in the players and hear from them. Their thoughts and opinions on things.
You guys remember the Bon Appetit YouTube channel before it became horrible?
Nah, I never watched it.
Before we knew it was horrible. It had a very similar vibe of like, they gave you all these people and they're all doing their own thing. Oh, hey, here's Johnny and he's going to make potatoes or whatever. But in the background, there'd be like someone else who like also has episodes, but they're like just doing work. And I feel like it's like, the SpongeBob like pointing to. It's like a good community aspect, and I think that's what Summit does. And what Summit also does is that they do not treat their employees like Bon Appetit did. So they've got that going for them. No, but it's this idea of like you are seeing all this, but you're also seeing what's happening behind it, right? It's very fun to like watch Summit from home because you see all the players past the camera, and it's perfect for content because someone loses and then they go like, I can't believe that, or someone wins and they go, I can't believe that. It's a lot of people not being able to believe stuff, I guess.
The disbelief is
Happy birthday, Mango.
Happy birthday, Mango. Yeah, there's a lot of like, imagine that if that happened to Genesis, right? No one's gonna
get to know.
No, yeah. So it's really cool. Like, the atmosphere that they have worked towards, I think they've, I was going to say they perfected it, but I'm sure with BTS, they will make it better in the future. And then we'll be like, I can't believe it was like this years ago, right? How now we're like, I can't believe there was not a fifth mic. Sure, they'll think of something. But for now, it's just like.
They didn't have, I don't know, holograms.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't have like a VR headset that you could put in.
It's crazy. I can't imagine a world before they had the micro drones that you could individually select and pilot anywhere in the studio and watch all the players at all. It's crazy. What are we even watching? What are we even watching?
Yeah, dude, I can't believe that everyone wanted to watch Summit before you could like beam into Leffen's contact lenses and just see the world through his eyes.
Where they were wearing the camera lenses like in Batman.
Leffen is the singularity. You can just merge your contacts into Leffen.
Dude, imagine Leffen being down 0-2 versus like H-Box, and then everyone just tries to merge in.
Yeah, his eyes go blue. He's like,
and he's just our state.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Summit 21.
Yeah, we'll get
that's soon. That's sooner than you think.
It is.
Yeah, they've actually. Because Summits, they haven't always been a consistent period of time apart from one another. Early on, they were not like super far apart, but they tried to stick to like 2 a year.
Yeah.
There was like Summit 1, 2, 3, and then there was like they did the Summit
Spring
Spring 2017 instead of
yeah.
Summit 4, which
Yeah.
is which I thought they were going to go like quarterly at that point. But I think what has it been 4 months since last Summit? 5
No,
months?
it was before.
It was
in December. I thought.
December.
Oh, okay.
It was
So it's a bit
Nicholas'
farther
birthday.
than I thought.
It was about 6 months.
Yeah,
It's about
so we can every like
not
6
too far
months.
off.
Yeah, it's a real fun check-in to see what's
Okay, I'm
happening.
down with 6 month summits.
Cool. I'm glad that you're okay with it.
You have to clear it with webs. You really gotta let it.
Well, counting the Ultimate Summits, they do it every quarter or so.
It's true. And they're up to
The Melee Stats podcast does
They're about
not
to do the-
acknowledge the existence of Ultimate.
Oh, sorry.
It's like Albanians who don't acknowledge the existence of Kosovo, aka Dua Lipa. We're
Wait, really?
We're the Dua Lipa of Melee Stats. Did you not? Dua Lipa does not acknowledge Kosovo.
Now I know.
Oh, it's the Melee Stats political podcast.
And Edwin's not even here. Imagine that.
It's not even
that's
here to
strange,
talk
actually,
about
that
this
Edwin is the one
right-wing
bringing us this
conservative point of view.
Edwin is fuming right now at his computer, just not being able to espouse his beliefs.
Yeah. He's actually typing up in the chat right now all about. Listen, no, you guys are.
Well, he can figure it out on his own.
Hey, you know what? We have a lot of special guests coming on.
True.
I hope so. I've been talking about these special guests.
I know.
They're so special we don't even know who it is.
Well,
Yeah.
we have like some vague ideas.
We don't
but
even
at
know
the end of
when
the
it
day,
is.
It's really all about who takes a shuttle here and walks through that.
And if they all ghost us, then
Oh,
what's
well.
bad? But if Edwin wants to come on and defend himself, then there are flights. The exact location of this, but for someone with his connections, his detective ability.
I know that
I was gonna say he's
Yeah.
probably gonna he'll geolocate it. He'll get it there. He's
Yeah.
not gonna ask.
Right wingers are not against doxing.
I
know
am
that.
probably tagged. I've slept in rooms where he is. Like I've gone unconscious in places near him.
Oh, you're definitely.
I'm tagged. he definitely tagged me in ambient genesis at the very least, just to make sure. Yeah. I was gonna say in the ear or something, but
No,
yeah.
listen, this is for the future of Melee Stats. You don't understand.
It's just helpful to know where you are.
At all times.
It's for your safety, please. Live from Summit. Okay, that feels like a good stopping point. We don't have to talk about Edwin anymore. His right wing views.
He's gonna come.
He'll come up naturally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Edwin is just, and sometimes fortunately. I don't want to always.
No, I love it.
Edwin's great, but
Yeah.
he does come up a lot.
Yeah, whenever
He's a
Edwin's
little
on the
dirty
podcast.
in Millionaire, I will say. I don't want to talk about it, but
Yeah,
you can
there-
edit grievances out later if you want.
Yeah, well, I believe there's some trivia questions that are what's it called? Like
It's an
part of
event.
the
It's one of the side events.
what is it? It's the Smashers
Smashers Council.
Council.
That's the council is what they do after the
Okay.
side event.
It's Smasher Stay Alive contest.
There you
Yes.
go. Beautiful, nailed it.
So I'll stand next to you during the entire thing. You tell me the answers before they say them. Then we'll see if you can, just get some, reinvigorate yourself for this loss.
Good deal. Yeah, I mean, I'm a millionaire.
I understand that, but the actual results of Millionaire is a little different. Well, let's talk about the actual results that we're going to see here. There's not pools yet. We don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
But we know who's here, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see all these people in the same place. A lot of this. What the cool thing about Summit is that it gets a lot of the same people, but where we see them each 6 months is not always the same. The people who we are seeing at the top, right? Zayn 6 months ago wasn't coming off of 2 back-to-back major wins.
He was kind of like
he was kind of
He was
like
like
nowhere.
nowhere.
Like he was slumping a little bit.
Mango at last Summit. That's a different Mango than we're seeing now.
yeah, I would say so.
So we're seeing all these different things, but we're also seeing players who weren't on people's radar back then. We talked about them. We talked about the Blues and the Mechs of the world, but what do you guys actually think going into this in terms of can these guys actually take any sets? Can these guys take games? Because as good as I think all these players are, you got to admit that there is a bit of a skill gap from the best players in the world to really good players.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? I think that this is a good cast of players. Connor, how much faith do you have in all these people?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's very clear tiers to
Mhm.
me of these are the players that are almost guaranteed to do very well.
Yeah.
These are the players that are very likely to do very well. And then there's some players that are still sort of unclear or like could sort of subvert the expectations. Like I think a lot of people's expectations of Mango right now is that he's kind of feels like he can lose to almost anyone.
Yeah.
He's coming off of a 13th and a 9th.
Yeah.
The last two majors,
That's
which is
great.
kind of like uncharacteristically quite bad
Yeah.
for Mango.
Yeah.
But there's an old mantra, don't sleep on the kid.
Yes.
And it seems like he's had sort of a mentality shift. So I think like a lot of general consensus people will sort of give him maybe 4th at best, but I actually really like his odds against some of the people that are seated above him.
Yeah.
And besides that, obviously J-Mook, we have no idea how he's going to do against some. Like he hasn't played Leffen before, he hasn't played Mango as far as I know.
No, I believe
No.
I don't think he played Kadoran at Genesis.
No.
He didn't go to the function, so he hasn't played like Sora.
Yeah.
Frenzy.
Well, he played Sora at Special Tour Finals.
Okay.
So-
Do you know what the result of that was?
Yeah, he beat him there.
Okay, so we have that piece, but Sora has also spent a lot of time in the States.
True.
grinding. He got second at Emerald City to Spark.
Kind of a secondary tournament that weekend. I think Pip winning Low Tide City was really the big.
I'm not familiar with that tournament. Can you?
Yeah, well,
No, but
I don't know who this Pip player is anyway. I couldn't even be bothered.
Yeah,
to
they're
make
not
him
even
summon.
here.
Something about a squeak or something.
Does someone say something about a squeak?
Another player that I think people should pay very close attention to is Salt.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So Salt's run at Genesis. I think that's his most recent. I guess he was at Function and LTC and kind of.
Yeah.
But at Genesis, he 2-0'd Slug.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Game 5 with Plup
Yeah.
That was a
and
crazy set.
someone who I'm forgetting in winners.
It's a good question.
I don't remember. But he looked like maybe one of the best Falcons at the tournament.
By eye test, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, with Salt, he was someone whose online results were really good, right?
Yeah.
And
And on Cody and SPAT.
yeah, exactly. And it's like insane because when we look at online, when online first was a thing, when Slippy was first a thing, I guess I'll say,
Yeah.
is that we weren't sure what these wins mean.
Yeah, honestly, it was a completely untouched territory.
It was like Wild West because
Yeah.
people were beating people randomly.
I remember when HBox started just dropping sets, and it was just like
It
I just was doing this a lot.
every day you woke up and you were when you checked your phone, you're like, is
Clutch guy?
Otez going to have a Hungrybox win now? It's just
Right,
like whatever
yeah.
random. But we learned through when tournaments came back that online is a little indicative, right? It's not 1-to-1, but the people who were able to have months and months of solid results, unsurprisingly, were still able to have a lot of solid results.
Doing well.
So
Wait,
yeah.
Can I actually? This is what I want to say. I have this theory.
Yes. Give me your theory.
Online is like locals.
Hello.
We've got our first special
We got a
guest.
guest.
Hello.
It's kind of
No, yeah, I don't want to make it too comfortable.
this was the plan all along.
Yeah.
So we got our first special guest here. I'm a little off.
Oh God, it really is.
We've got our first special guest. We have intern, the Melee Stats intern,
Official.
the official Melee Stats intern. This is SF. If you've seen any tweets from the Melee Stats account, including what was your snarkiest one? What did you say?
Oh, when I fucking, I don't want to curse too immediately. When I replied to Slime with the emojis when he's like, you should like be saying that it's S2J's Falco and Smash Daddy's Falcon, and I mean,
I think you've had snarkier.
oh wait, no, it's definitely the Typex one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 100%.
That was a good one.
When Melee online master player smurfed in a Tyrant of 02.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Very
Lost,
snarky.
right? Did not win the tournament.
Did not
No,
win the
that's
tournament.
fourth.
No, got 4. Get that entire thing too. So this is SF.
That's
This
deserving of a snarky tweet.
yeah. This, the guy who
I appreciate it.
who makes it all happen behind the scenes.
And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Oh yeah, nice to meet you. Oh yeah, I know. I'm really happy to meet you.
Well, you came at the perfect time. We're talking about online.
I love online.
I was in a thought. Let me finish.
You
my
have a
thought.
theory. It's more than a
Theory.
thought.
Yeah, it was a bit of a theory. Might be the wrong word. It's pretty short. We'll go with thought. It's I feel like online is like locals if locals just had like a bunch of like way better players.
Yeah.
Because you get a ton of iterations.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of results to look at large data sets with a smaller group of players. Online you do get a bit of a larger group of players, but like it was generally the same kind of players who would enter a lot of online stuff. The online grinders were the online grinders.
True.
So you got your Bens, your Max, your Salts, etc. I can go on, Bobby, And so while online doesn't matter, it is a predictor. It's an indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows trends, and as long as you're looking more at the trends instead of the individual results, it's I think incredibly useful tool.
Sure.
In order to kind of like gauge how our return to IRL tournaments are going to go.
Yeah, I mean, at a local, if someone takes a set off of S2J or whatever, it doesn't mean that they're suddenly top 10 in the world.
No.
If S2J is like 23-1 with that person, then I still think S2J is pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
that one set is basically nothing.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, but if you have a player who is able to take a lot of sets or stuff like that, yeah, no, I think that's real, because that's what we've been seeing from people like this. And with Salt, the big question was, well, we've been seeing these big wins, and it made us reevaluate. What is somebody beat Cody, somebody beat Espat, somebody beat Magi. It's like, what does this mean online? And then Salt did it in Genesis, right? It wasn't like you did beat Cody or anything, but was able to put results together that make me believe that that's something that they can replicate. And here at Summit, that is the fun thing. You look at the Salts, the Frenzies, because it's not just like Blue or Dark Genix or people. Each tier is like, this is their proving ground, right? Yeah. This is Kadorian's chance to take a set off of, Mega or Leffen or something, right? This is Frenzy's chance to take a set off of whoever. Like, there's so many things at stake here for every single person. But yeah, in terms of upsets, SF, you've never been asked a question on the Melee Stats podcast.
Here we go.
SF, who do you think has potential to make a big upset here?
I feel like Frenzy is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
you
like
said in a English accent.
Absolutely not.
No. Okay, I have heard reports. I've heard reports from a reliable source, yourself, that you have family in England.
Yes, they born and raised in LA, lived in Washington and Seattle, and then moved to London.
So that's why you're not able to do a British accent.
No genetic inclination at all. It's actually awful. It would actually reduce viewers if I tried it at all.
Okay. You know what? I like that you're thinking about viewers. That's why you run the Twitter.
That's how we got that intern.
Exactly.
But you're talking about Frenzy. Frenzy, I think, is a great pick. Sell me on Frenzy as someone who can make a lot of upsets here.
I think Frenzy has a lot to prove right now.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the U.S., it's like last time at Summit in the VIP bracket was not.
No.
I don't want to bring it up too much, but there's a lot.
Hey, look, Nintendo, one of the best, top 50 player of all time. His Marth wasn't, though. His Marth was not a top 50 player.
And if I see Frenzy versus Zayn or Doran,
Yeah.
But I think he's really good versus Sheik. I would really want to see him versus Pluck.
I mean, when you talk about J-Mook's results, everyone's like, J-Mook's super great. He did super well at Smash World Tour.
What happened at Smash World Tour?
He did lose to Frenzy. It's like they whisper it. They're like, he did lose to Frenzy, but he had a lot of really great wins.
And Pluck coming off lost to Ginger at Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, but Ginger is trending top 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Ginger is looking so nice.
But I think Frenzy has a lot to prove right now, and I look forward to seeing him. And I was watching friendlies with him versus Zayn last night, where Zayn was like 3-stocking him because he's Zayn, but Frenzy still looked amazing and just really well composed. And I think he got a lot to learn from Summit and a lot to show, and I think he can make a big upset.
Yeah. He's very tall. He can probably see their inputs. The only issue is that he's so far away from the controller that I don't know if his visual.
The speed of light does not travel fast enough.
The travel
process it,
and then the travel
time
actually
range
of his fingers.
There's a lot of signal processing.
The travel time for Frenzy. Frenzy, I think, has got such great instincts. If he were 6 inches shorter, he'd be the best player ever.
His feet do stick out the bed.
So who else are we thinking about? Webs, is there anyone who you are looking at and saying that this person is going to make an upset?
Well, I'm super interested to see where our Falcons end up in pools.
Yeah.
We've got 3 super strong Falcons here, of course, none being the perennial top Falcon.
Highest placing Falcon ever at Genesis.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, he had incredible. It is crazy, too, because he came into Genesis, and he was just out of practice. He had not been playing.
He was tweeting about it.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to him about it a little bit earlier today too. I mean, he said that helped him. He thinks that helped him
Mhm.
because, like, at the end of the day, he's playing for so long. It's like as long as he's not missing his tech skill, which he seemed to be playing pretty well. He played, didn't look super sloppy or anything in Genesis. It's like he just needs. It's a mindset thing for him when he gets that level. So being just there for content guy, I think gave him a bit of an edge to do well. But really, who I want to mention is we already talked about Self, so I'll bring up Mech.
Mm-hmm.
I did mention Mech's second place at Low Tide City with the win over Axe. Also, what I'd like to point out too is that in Winterside, to get to Winners Finals, he beat somebody who has been, I don't want to say a thorn in his side, but who has a winning record on him. It's Bobby Big Balls in Winter Semis. Yeah, and to take an in-person set on Bobby like that, on a big stage, it's like super, super promising for him to be able to stay composed, and then to go into losers and beat Axe too. It's like,
Mech, I think
it's really good.
I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Mech because he's got these wins, but I'm not sure if we know. I think everyone's still putting a little asterisk next to them, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, yeah, Axe, but Axe wasn't playing well, right?
Yeah, fucking Pikachu.
Yeah, it's Pikachu. Pikachu's not good. His controller was broken, right?
Yeah, Axe is, he's got to get back into that mental place. He's really ready to compete against.
I heard his stomach was weird that day.
No,
he didn't. It just was kind of
weird. You could say a million things about all the people that are losing. Club, he was not taken seriously. Mango was hungover or whatever. Axe still won Summit 8. He's still, one of those guys.
Yeah.
Especially versus Falcon.
Yeah,
oh my god.
He's very good against Falcon. He beat Wizrobe to win
True.
Summit 8.
Yeah, that's actually great.
So I think this Mech win over Axe is pretty insane, but people are still not ready to give it all the credit. The same thing with Bobby is that it's a Bobby win. What does that mean? Yeah. But he did them both, and he did it in winter semis and losers finals. That's a little different.
The significance is the place and time.
So I however people feel about Mech right now, I think this is a chance to show that these are not wins that are random, right? This is not a fluke.
Yeah.
I think he could take a Cadoran set.
I
don't think that's insane.
No. I mean, Falcon Marth, sometimes Falcon hits Marth 5 times, and that's all he needs, man.
Hey, sometimes he hits him 5 times, and the 5th time was not necessary. It's just he was dead. That bear didn't need to happen.
Well, I mean, across the entire game.
True.
5 times 4 stocks, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you drop a conversion.
Really should be 4 times.
Yeah. I'm just giving him a little bit of
1.0
leeway.
conversion to stock ratio.
That's incredible.
Mech, I think, is a really great pick. You know who I want to see? And have I said this because he's been on the show 3 times? I want to see Dark Gen X.
Yeah.
Because I think Dark Gen X is actually a very good player. He's someone who, because of his content grind, I think we forget that he is a player.
Well, I mean, it's not just content too. He TOs.
Yeah.
He's a huge part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In every conceivable way, right? He's behind the scenes on a lot of stuff. He edits people's videos.
For Magi, I think, right?
Yeah. He ran the
really?
Magi
Yeah,
Summit
that's
campaign
awesome.
last year. He's the type of person who, because he's doing so much, it's like how commentators, people are don't think of commentators as players.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you play the game.
Oh, that's interesting.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, despite the fact that Vish is amazing, Homie Waffles is amazing.
Right.
Actually, the fact that I started naming people means that I will inevitably leave out all the amazing commentators because there's so many people who are really good at the game.
Yeah.
But it's kind of something similar with him where I think because he does so much, people they don't think about his play. It overshadows all that. But no, he's a really good player. He's someone who probably is busy during the function or the nightclub, right? A lot of his opportunities to show how good he is, he's pretty busy. And I know he's probably making the most of this trip. He's such one train thought of just how can I make this the best experience?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he'll have that as well. But just to see him be able to play, I think that's going to be good. He's probably has an insanely hard pool, considering him and Blue are probably the last seeds.
Yeah, the bottom 2.
But Gauntlet. There's always Gauntlet. And I do want to see Snow Halation.
Some interesting things happen in this format, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
That's true. And he's gonna get. I mean, what I really love about Summit is just how many opportunities that the players will get against the field too. It's not just you get your pool. You also get round 2 Gauntlet, and then we get final bracket.
You can lose
amazing.
4 times before you're out of the tournament and still win. It's insane.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Quadruple With
that
couple
one-
elimination.
double.
Yeah.
Everyone's still in the final bracket at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, on Sunday
Yeah.
it's still a top 16.
It's just all about winners and losers.
That's insane. Yeah, I think I mean, success for him, and how I view it. I don't even think he needs to take a set. I think he's good enough to take sets from people here. So if he does that, that's a win. I think he'd be happy if he goes out knowing that he made Summit. If he put his mark on it, right?
Yeah.
He's probably gonna go Snow Halation, his ices.
Yeah.
His ices are very good, but I also think that he knows when it's funny to go ices and when it's
That's
good
crucial.
content. So I think that we could see the ices get destroyed, but it could be funny. And however he fares at Summit, I think his imprint will be there. We've had a lot of great players who placed 13th at Summit, and whatever his placing is, 13th, 9th, or whatever, I think it'll be like the funniest 13th I've ever seen. It'll be the most like content-filled 13th place ever at
I
Summit.
can agree with that.
Yeah,
He helped me seed the VIP bracket a little bit. Very appreciative of that.
true. We've got a lot of hitters in VIP bracket.
It's competitive.
Have they closed signups for it?
No, we're going
Oh,
to
okay. Because it's on set. Oh, it's on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
But we got Spark and
Logan?
Yeah. Dude, the VIP bracket is so stacked this time, and it's going to be huge too because we've got a ton of really good players.
Yeah, I think the VIP bracket is going to basically be a regional.
it's SoCal local.
So got Logan. Okay, yeah, sorry. It's only like 7,100 players.
Not these days. Not these days.
Who even knows what the top 100 looks like? Because the fun thing about stuff like this is that I am so unsure about everything going into this, right? Now, as someone who I do work on the MPGR to some extent, I would like it if this made more sense. But it is a lot of fun, like going to every single event. I'm like, it'll make more sense after this. Going to Pound, I was like, Genesis was like all up in the air. It'll make more sense after Pound. No, it didn't. And I was like, okay, Function will make a lot of sense. No, guess what? It
Made
Like,
less
yeah.
sense.
Actually, Function kind of like took us even farther with
yeah.
understanding where
Every single event that happens, I've got no idea what's going to happen. And I feel like Summit is going to be the same exact thing. Summit, I'm so ready to throw every like preconceived notion I have about Melee out the window. Because whatever's going to happen, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, what between after Summit and the end of the ranking period is just like Battle of BC?
Well, then they did extend it to Double Down.
Okay.
So you also get Gommel in there, and I think
Oh yeah, that's.
CEO.
yeah.
CEO.
Yeah.
I haven't really
Heard
heard
a whole
we
lot
have
about-
so many. Are we?
Is this a buyer's market?
Wait a minute. We're back. Melee is actually back.
Yeah.
Is it a buyer's market website? I told you about buyer's market.
No.
I say this on every episode now. It's like my thing. Basically, the idea.
Cool trademark
Very cool
phrase.
thing.
It's a great thing to have. This is like when Edmund was on the show one time and he said his thing is gambling, and I was like, I don't think that's your thing, and also I don't think it should be your thing.
I thought his name was like personnel development or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's the thing he talks about. He always talks about how he loves football because it's personnel development. Is he like when he watches football, his eyes are on the sidelines for the coach to be like, delegating. No, but the buyer's market thing is the idea that Ultimate's in this way where if you're an Ultimate player and you want to play other Ultimate people, how do you do it? You can go online, you can play fucking 23 frames of
You
lag,
can play some of the least charitable conditions.
or you can go to a tournament, and that's what they've been doing. They've been doing it even when it was not safe.
Yeah, that's true.
600 people in a venue in June 2021, when we were not really all back in
That
those.
was Florida.
It was Florida as well.
Yeah,
So
I do remember that.
they were doing stuff where.
Florida was ahead of the game when it came to not giving a crap about COVID.
Oh yeah, they were.
Revolutionize the meta.
Yeah, they really did push it.
They knew what COVID was, but they didn't care about it. They knew that they were not going to do anything about it. No, but Ultimate has been very good at attending stuff, good or bad, however you see it during this day and age. But they've been attending a lot of stuff, and I think Melee is a little different, right? Our numbers, we're not as big of a game currently,
Yeah.
but even that, with all that we have, you have Slippy. You have like this incredible thing where if you want to go to a tournament to play people, you can do that, but also to play people, you can just sit in your house and you can play some of the best people ever, right? Like they're all there, and if you're a top player, obviously you have resources to play other top players, and because of that, if you want to go to a tournament, there has to be something enticing you, right?
Right.
So that's like this idea is that I think we're seeing a lot of tournaments, but it's a buyer's market because if you want to play melee, you have so many options.
Okay, so it does make sense.
It does
So
make
I get
sense.
explain it,
And now that I've said that, you can cross your like little bingo card out at home.
yeah. The melee stats bingo card.
It's not the coolest thing that I could have.
The waiting for game bingo card. I should say.
Yes, the waiting for game.
Yes.
We're not the Melee Stats podcast.
No, it's the podcast by Melee Stats.
It's a podcast by Melee Stats.
Is it waiting for game hosted by melee stats? Is that what
Presented by
presented by?
Coinbase.
Give me that.
Presented by Coinbase. Presented by
Papa
Give me that
John's.
weed.
Yeah.
Papa Weeds.
He's getting a Wheaties sponsorship.
That's a good question. They said I have to be more athletic to get on their box, and I have refused.
Your couthness doesn't really like carry you that far enough, you think, for the box?
For the most couth men in Melee, I guess it doesn't bring you that far.
Way too much couth.
Way too couth.
I'm too couth?
A little bit. Just a little.
A little too couth. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, hey, I just come as couth as it comes, right? I can't regulate the couthness.
Well, should we ask the next question about?
Yeah, well, I mean, so what were we talking about before,
We're
right?
talking about upsets.
I was talking about upsets, and we were talking about how
Oh well, who do you think is gonna make a big upset?
I think any of these players did. I think Dark Genetics, I said he's one to watch.
Sure.
Is he the person who I think is most likely to make an upset? Probably not, and only because we've got so many incredible players here that it's like
And he's likely to have one of the harder pools.
he's gonna have one of the harder pools, and like with the talent we have here, it's gonna be really tough to be a 15, 16 seed, something like that, and squeeze out a really good win.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think Salt's an amazing pick. Frenzy's an amazing pick. Sora is someone who I want to see because what I think of Sora, like I thought I knew how he was, and then he started going Sheik,
Yeah.
and his Sheik took a set off of Fat Goku.
And that's
Okay,
Online.
all right.
His
hang
Sheik
on.
took 2 out of 4 games on Fat Goku, and his mom took 1 out of 1 game.
On
Fat
a theme.
Goku.
On a theme.
I mean,
by the
hey,
skin of his teeth.
That's it. If you've got a character that you're comfortable against Fox with, it doesn't matter if it's Sheik or not. I mean,
It is, yeah. It is a weird thing for a Fox player to say, I'm going to play Sheik versus Fox, and for him to succeed. So because of that, I don't really know where Sora's at, right? But like the confidence in
He's
it.
a character switcher. He's gonna do what he feels comfortable. I've talked to him about it. He's like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna have like a secondary character, a pocket character, you gotta go into it with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like switching to Sheik and thinking, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. You just gotta be like, oh, I'm good enough. This is gonna be gnarly, and they're not gonna see it coming.
You say gnarly?
I don't know
Maybe.
exactly what it's
Gnarly?
something very Australian.
Nolly.
Probably.
Seek. It'll be Seek.
But yeah, I mean,
he ran it and it clearly worked against the best player of all time, Fat Goku. He eked out a win against all odds.
you know what's interesting to me is that it did work against Fat Goku. It did not work against John Wick at Genesis because that was a set he lost. John Wick is a really
He
good
went Sheik
player.
against John Wick.
He went Sheik, he went Fox, he went Marth.
Oh, he tried it all.
The Sheik, I think, took a game. But
yeah,
he-
I was gonna say. I feel like he would just go straight Sheik against Marth. Right?
So that's what's interesting to me is that the idea of like feeling out your characters and just like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna go however, like whatever, indescribable sensation you have. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me in that way, like if you're that good. So I want to see how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I literally have no idea how he's gonna do in any set I ever watch him. I'm like, he can
Yeah.
beat this person,
Uh,
regardless of who it is. Like, he could be stepping up to the plate against Leffen. I'm like, there's a shot. Like,
There's a
Sora
shot.
can do this.
We saw him last year versus Kadorn. We saw him versus Esfen. He had all these opportunities at last summit
Yeah.
where it looked like there was a real shot. So I want to see what we have from him because I think he's got upset potential both ways.
It's actually super true. That's true.
I think
He's a
he's-
swingy player.
He can take sets, and with this new mentality of just going wherever he feels like, he can definitely lose sets. So I think he's a fun player to watch out for.
Definitely.
But yeah, to get to the bigger picture, we were talking about, normal summits, you have this idea of this like blob of player who needs to prove themselves, right? We had that last year. It was really fun. Everyone took a set, but it was like players who Pipsqueak, Null, Swift, players who definitely are not known on the larger scale who have the ability to show that. And I mentioned earlier in the show, it's like tiers of players here, right? You've got, your top 10 players, you got your top 5 players, you've got top 30 players, you've got people outside of that. And I think everyone has something to prove here.
Yeah.
So Edwin Budding over on Twitter.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you get to there, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. Because I know we're about to start talking about Edwin again. Do you think Zayn has line approved?
Well, that's the thing, because
I have some.
so Edwin over on Twitter, and I only saw this because Studebaker Hawk retweeted this. I do not follow Edwin. We all know this.
Why would you? There's really not a lot
No.
to see there.
But I probably saw the one good post he ever put out because Stu retweeted a thread that Edwin made.
It was a really good thread.
And it's okay.
As that with the endorsement.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's a thread about what everyone has to prove here, basically, because this is something where everyone does have something to prove. And I think you're right. Zayn does have something to prove here because we talked about this on prior shows. He has the idea of this like juggernaut, right? Through online, he was this person who was like, Zayn's the best. And when he had opportunities to prove that he was the best, he didn't always do it.
True.
He won Genesis 7, but when we actually came back from online, after he dominated online, we saw him lose Summit 11. And, you know,
Summit 12 as well.
we thought it was like one of the best grand finals of all
Summit
time.
11 Grand Finals is amazing.
But it was also a set that at any point he could have won and didn't, right? And then Summit 12.
He was a winner's side too.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah, did for Mango to
Up
run
2-0.
2 sets in a row on Zayn.
I was almost in tears watching that, not even as a Mango fan.
It's crazy, man.
But if you look at it
Such
from
a
Zayn's
storyline.
perspective, it's, you know, like,
Got robbed.
he got a little
it's
robbed.
like you know the skit they did at Summit 12 then, where it was like, what happens if Mango doesn't win that set? Because Mango winning that set led to Zayn taking over the world,
yeah.
just like committing genocide, killing humanity. And Shab came back. It was the Mango and Shab. It was Mango
Oh,
and Shab.
yeah.
Shab comes back in time. He's like, Mango, Zayn takes over, man. You gotta lose that set. And then Mango, of course, goes back and wins it anyway because he's fucking Mango. Good skit. I really check it out. Sorry,
It
to
is.
spoil it for you. But,
As long as it's
Spoiled
still
the
skate.
I
3
did
minute scores.
spoil the 3-minute skit. Yes, I do apologize for those who have not seen.
But now we're kind of seeing the whole thing about Zayn taking over, right? Zayn's dictatorship. We're actually seeing
True,
this.
yeah, it's coming
This
to
is
fruition.
it's real. It's really coming to fruition because what we saw Genesis and we saw Pound. That was the first time he's taken 2 back-to-back big tournaments.
Yeah.
He's been like the guy to beat
I
forever.
mean, he didn't just take those tournaments; he seized those.
He
tournaments.
didn't look beatable.
He did not look
He sailed
touchable.
through.
We went from saying, I remember Genesis before we had Genesis, everyone was just like, Zayn's the favorite.
Mhm.
But if he runs into this person, it could be tough. If he runs into this
Right.
person. And then at Pound, it was like, oh yeah, Zayn's probably going to win this, but this might be tough.
Leffen's chic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're a couple weeks removed, and I think it's completely different, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at Zayn and we're saying, Zayn's the favorite, and I don't know if someone can take a tournament off of him.
3 times is a pattern, right? If
Yeah.
he's able to establish that level of dominance again, now we put Zayn in the double S tier above everybody
Yeah, I
else.
think if he wins this tournament, then there's absolutely like he would have to really have a rough June.
You'd have to throw for content really hard.
You'd have to pull an
It's not
H-box.
just
in.
be
Yeah.
number one.
Do
Yeah.
a little bit of H-boxing.
It would be crazy to me if he didn't end up number 1 after winning Summit 13.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it goes further than number 1 because when you're talking about a player like this, his legacy I think is impacted. I will say this: we have not. If he wins Summit, that's a more dominant streak than we've seen since maybe like Armada.
Mhm.
Because H-box is great. H-box had stretches where, like 2018, 2019, he was not really winning a ton of things in a row. He had his 2017 stretch, which I think bled into 2018 a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I don't want to get into the details of it, but it was
Yeah,
like late 2017.
Shine and Big House.
Right,
and
that was when he started building his momentum.
GTX, all Summit, all that stuff.
That's why I forgot about GTX. Yeah. Oh my, he won so many tournaments in that period.
That literally got him number 1.
Yeah.
Because Armada
he,
did
he had like a blitz of winning.
2017 was so funny because it was Armada wins every tournament, and then it was
Oh man.
Mega wins one.
Mega wins one. And then it was
Gets the one.
H-box wins every tournament. But yeah, we really haven't seen someone win every single tournament. And Zayn is on pace to become one of the most dominant players that we've ever seen, right? This is one of the most dominant stretches.
Yeah.
But he actually has to do it.
Mm.
So that's what's at stake for
We're
this
not
Summit.
there yet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can talk about how fun it would be, but he actually has to do it, and he has to do it at a place where Axe is not a bracket, of course. That's like the one thing we usually say is like, what if he faces Axe? But
I really,
it has
I
some of the
wish
best
Axe was
players
in
of all
bracket.
time.
Actually, I would love to see Zayn and Axe right now.
That's
Damn,
the big question.
I actually would love. I would love to see that.
Yeah, it would have to be in like, round of 16 or something.
Yeah,
Like,
probably in Sunday.
It would have happened at Pound if Axe had beaten Leffen, but he didn't. So
We were close.
Close.
We were close.
But yeah, no, Leffen. Zayn is someone who he has less to prove, of course. But what he has to prove goes beyond this year, goes beyond this tournament, and goes into like, is he on pace to become one of the best players of all time? Is he like having one of the most dominant performances ever? So I think that's what's on, what's at stake for him. But everyone has something at stake. Look at Mago. We talk about great performances from Zayn in a row. We see a little bit of the opposite for Mago.
That's true.
When we talked about 13th and 9th.
That's right.
Those are not very high placements.
No.
Especially when we're talking Mango. I remember the only other time in recent memory I can remember Mango placing outside of top 8 was 13th at
main stage, right?
Yeah, he did. He did 13th
lost
on
to
main
Army,
stage
and
and lost
yeah,
to Lucky.
that's it. Yeah,
In 2019.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's more recent than I thought. Actually, I was thinking that was longer ago.
And this is
It's still 3 years out, right?
It's true.
Yeah, it's an interesting Mango because the whole tweet, talking about everyone thought he was retiring, and it's like maybe it's not retiring,
Mentality crisis.
And then, did you see any of his streams recently?
No.
He seems like he really loves Melee.
He is actually in such a good mood at this tournament.
Yeah.
He's got a sleek haircut.
He does. Oh my god, I'm so
good.
stoked that Mango finally cut the damn
Hey, speaking of which,
mane. I mean, I've been taking my head off. Yeah, I buzzed my head.
are you like you're not discount slime? How would you describe yourself?
Dude, the funniest
You're like
thing,
cheddar
like
slime.
funniest thing happened.
Artisan slime.
Slime,
Artisan slime.
Slime showed up today. Slime showed up today,
And he thought it was himself.
He had his mask on. He has a mask on over his face, and he comes up to me and he pulls his mask down and he has a mustache. And he goes, "We're the same." And then I go, "We are the same." And he's like, "Oh!" It was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I told him I gotta get the grain death hat. I'll just start switching places.
He's got a tattoo. You gotta get it tatted now.
You'll see me just on the yard podcast, just like talking about my balls.
It would be good, logistically, for them all to have alternates so they can just like.
You gotta start being very existential playing Valorant also.
Yeah, right.
I'll get back into Valorant.
I think you also have to yell at children on Twitter.
And tweet at Riot Games a lot.
Tweet at Riot.
Using Twitter is kind of where I draw the line.
Well,
I'm a big Twitter.
You're like
I log on everyone's.
Let's see what cut of the yard patron you get, and then see if it
Yeah. Maybe we'll set some Patreon goals for me to scream at kids.
Yeah, it's like the B team for the yard, right? They all have their little
The doppelgangers.
Yeah, the doppelgangers.
put any generic white guy in place of Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden's easy to replace.
They gotta be rail
A
thin.
little bit.
Yeah, they do have to be the
skinny,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little like.
Ludwig, I feel like might be tough to replace. Actually, I was gonna say
There was
because
a chest hole.
I was gonna say he's got that beautiful head of hair, but you got the hair right here.
Okay,
Pull it
no,
off.
we're not having that conversation.
I love your hair.
I am not. I can't.
Did you
talk
start
about
loving
it.
hair more once you buzzed yours?
Huh?
Did you start?
No, I actually, don't make me start talking about hair, bro.
Okay.
I like my
Really
shade.
fast podcast.
I like my shade.
Let's talk about
I think I
Mango's
look
haircut. So this is a new Mango, right? We were talking about this. This is
Not
a
only
new
did he get a
Mango.
haircut, but he also got a beard, like trim and clean. Like he actually looks good.
So is this found confidence, or
You
is
know,
this him just being like, if I'm gonna get 13th, I might as well look clean?
I mean,
Who do you think you would get 13th to?
I don't think he's thinking about 30.
Still halation.
Yeah.
I remember watching him steamroll Fly Amanita like 8 years ago.
Yeah, we've all seen
yeah.
press start. No, he yeah, that's the thing, right? Like we don't know what Mango we're getting. And we've not known what Mango we're getting for a while. This is not anything new.
Yeah.
Usually the Mango that we get tends to like find his way back to the top. But this is the first time that I think people are a little afraid of what, where he'll end up, right?
What the Mango futures are.
Yeah. If he, I don't think he signed up for Double Down. What does he do at this? Maybe he gets like 8th of the top 50, top 30, whatever it is. Maybe he doesn't make top 10, right? Like, what are we seeing? This is a really pivotal tournament.
So what happens if Mango places like 7th at this tournament?
I think it's
Even
about, he would need to, that goes down to wins, right? Who did he beat here?
Who did he lose to?
Maybe
But if he's placing 7th, who can he really beat?
I mean, the way.
Some other people. Yeah, true. I mean, that's like we do have these Falcons who are just capable of upsets. I feel like Falcon's an upset character, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, those are
Falcons.
Mango.
Mango's not as invincible against Falcon as he used to be.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if I'm willing to take the bet on that one.
I will give you 20 to 1 odds.
I gotta see what
That's
Edward's gonna
reasonable
get.
odds.
Oh yeah, okay. So talking about betting, Edward's gonna come climbing out of this.
Those are the odds I would get to.
21.
yeah.
21 is very one-sided.
I mean,
He was best to do odds.
yeah, but in the past, I would give like 100 to 1 odds on like a random Falcon. And not to say Mech and Salt are random. They're incredibly good players, but in
The level of Falcon that we thought could take a set off of Mango has changed drastically.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, for a long time, Wizzy couldn't do it. He did it like twice,
He did online first.
Yeah.
and then I mean, didn't he take a set at like
He was close.
DreamHack Dallas or something?
I don't think he ever ended up taking a set there before online happened.
Yeah.
He was really close. I remember at the last summit. I think
Mhm.
it was like game 5,
It
last
was
stock. It was
incredibly close.
But if a caliber player like Wizrobe is not able to do it, then I mean, Salt and Mech are great, but they are not Wizrobe.
Yeah, is this the same Manga that we're seeing
But
6 months
but,
ago?
yeah,
That's
it's
the
the same
question.
Mango.
I can't wait to see, actually. I'm really stoked to see how Mango plays. Because, in comparison to his recent results, I think he kind of he didn't emo tweet very much.
No.
He kind of just went off the grid.
Yeah.
He was very honest and open about how he, was feeling about competing. And, I mean, he seems to have kind of found the fire because he seems very happy where he is right now.
And I think that's good.
Yeah.
I still think Mango's one of the top contenders to beat Zayn at this tournament.
Totally.
No matter what has happened in the past month now, I still
He
think
might be the number one.
Yeah.
contender.
right.
He's like
so
person
confusing.
with the best chance.
It's
Even
It's
though-
insane. It's like you could still probably lose to Lod,
Yeah,
maybe lose to Frenzy.
yeah.
I would still, him and Zayn maybe 50-50.
I don't know about 50-50, but I do think maybe Plup has a slightly close chance against Zayn, but I can't think of anyone else beating Zayn right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think you picked on someone who I think has a lot at stakes here.
Plup.
And I think it's Plup. Plup and Leffen, in different ways, but a lot of are similar, are two players who legitimately I've seen them play some of the best melee I've ever seen, right? They are able to unlock states of being that we see from people who we call some of the best players of all time, right? We see it from we saw from Armada, we see it from Mango. We're probably currently seeing it from Zayn. But when Leffen plays on, I think that is still the best melee I've ever seen. He looks unbeatable when he's playing like that. Plup, a lot of times like that too, right? He's able to change your whole perception of what Sheik can do.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen that recently from either one of them.
Right.
We've seen them do well. I would say they're both top 10 players, right?
Yeah.
But we need to actually see them put together a run, because that's not what they've done recently.
They do kind of fall in that same category.
They've got good wins.
They've got good wins. We know who they are.
And
We
they've got
expect a lot from them.
And they have an ability to beat people.
Yeah.
But are they able to put it all together, right? If you have a 40% chance of beating Zayn and a 50% chance of beating Mango and whatever it is, can you piece that all together and get into grand finals of Summit?
That is very difficult.
I think
It's possible.
someone like Leffen and Plup, they would have to. I mean, I think that those are two of the players that I would say have the best chance against Hungrybox, who we haven't talked about yet. But if they are able to get past the Hungryboxes and the IBDWs and the Mangoes, they still have Zayn to face, and neither of them have really shown that they have quite the spark to beat him lately. But it's a different environment than the open tournaments like Pound and Genesis. They've got a lot of setups and time.
Yeah.
To prepare.
Yeah, I think that's actually super crucial too.
Yeah.
Part of what Mango struggled with at some of these majors was he got fatigued. He's not ready for back fatigue. Mango's old now, and I can say that because I'm older than him. But it matters when you have to be on, and it's not always throughout the day, or it's not always in one chunk of the day. It is throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's in the morning. It's later on when you have your second
5 hours later.
Exactly. And it's historically Mango could just turn it on and off, just show up, and he really has to kind of account for that these days, especially when the field has raised its floor so high.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him go down early to Fizzwiggle, and Fizzwiggle is a great player, but I don't think he's ever been top 100.
No.
He was on the ballot, I think. But...
I think he
He
made the
might have
ballot
been
one year.
HM. He might have been I remember
Yeah,
we did the one
yeah.
to 110 or so.
Yeah.
He may have been
Definitely a strong player, but not number one in his state even.
And
taking a set off of Mango.
not really the type of person you want to be losing to if you are in contention for best player in the world, which is what he was going to Genesis.
Yeah, it's true.
I believe he was the 1 seed.
He was the one seed.
He was. So
That's bonkers.
yeah, right. It feels so recent,
Bonkers.
and yet it's like that was a different world.
Yeah.
That was a different era.
We're just flying through the air.
Dude, we're go-
Keep it coming.
We've gone through like 3 eras since Genesis.
We've gone through a whole era since the beginning of this podcast.
True. Yeah.
Oh my God. it's
Melee has changed so
been a bit
much.
of turmoil.
But yeah, Leffen and Plup, I think, if you look at, especially for Plup, the hardware is not there to the same extent of these players who we put them up with, right?
Right.
Plup had Genesis 5, was able to like put together that entire run, but his next biggest win, what is it? Maybe
The
Dream Hack Atlanta,
Smash World Tour?
World Tour.
Yeah, I would say Smash World Tour.
But all these kind of fall flat when you compare him to Zayn's second biggest win, or Mango's second biggest win, or Hbox's
Yeah. that's
fifth biggest win. So it's like stuff like this, right? Like Plup and Leffen are amazing. They're great, and they're able to do like all these the great sets. And I think that both of them have showed at times that they are like clearly able to be the best player in the world. But now that they're in they're in contention for this, like are they actually able to put it all together? Those are interesting questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go down to Hbox?
We talk about
I do want to talk about Hbox.
I think Hbox is a really interesting.
This is the guy to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did a segment a few weeks ago. This was Hbox number is Hbox number 2, and the answer was no. And then the function happened,
Oh.
and we are looking at an era where this is a new era, and it's all eras. We're looking at an era where Hbox had just come off of an online year and a half, 2 years, where if you were like top 12 in your state, whatever state it was, you had a very good
Yeah,
chance
you
at
had a shot.
Xbox. Yeah, you could probably at least take a game.
I mean, I think
Top
top
12 in North Dakota.
You would make them sweat.
You would pop
I
off
mean,
when you do it.
I think a good way to put it is that he was focused elsewhere. He was focusing on streaming. He's focusing on growing his ultimate fan base.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of ultimate playing.
And you know what? In 2021, he came back to online stuff, and he proved doubters wrong in a sense. He wasn't best in the world, but it was very clear that all these people who we saw beating online were not going to be able to beat him. I think his Riptide run had him beat a few people in a row who were
Literally had
He
winning
did-
records on.
yeah, he
Ben.
beat Ben. I think he had to beat Beezin
Oh, yeah.
there, who took a set.
Yeah.
His Riptide run was a very good way of showing people he's not washed. But the rest of 2021 was, it's oh, okay, he loses to Polish. Oh, okay, Polish is great now. Gets 3-0 by Polish. Oh, okay. It's a lot of results that we weren't used to seeing from him.
Yeah.
And I think because of this, and because of the online results that he still puts up, we have this idea that maybe he's a little washed or anything.
Mhm.
His in-person results for 2022 have still been amazing. You talk about the Mango win. He got second at Pound. He got fifth at Genesis. And if you look at everyone else who he's comparable to,
Who have been winners at Genesis?
None.
with the
Yeah.
stump.
man,
yeah.
and that
Ridiculous.
set could have gone either way. And he lost to Cody, IBW and Losers, who
Yeah.
I mean is
Kind of has his number
a-
historically.
yeah, especially more and more these days. It feels like
Yeah.
towards the end of that set too, he just looked like he didn't even believe he could win.
Yeah.
But Cody, I think, you're talking about number 2 in the world. Cody was a person to bring up for number 2 in the world.
Mhm.
We saw Cody get third at Genesis. Great run. He did lose to J-Mook, but, third.
Lots of people lost J-Book at that tournament.
Lots of people lost J-Mook.
Losing to J-Mook is
He was in a
be
great
shame.
club. And then the next tournament he gets ninth.
Losing to Crudo and Moki.
Well,
No,
even
Jordan
before
lost
then,
at
oh,
Yeah, there was another one.
he gets
Yeah.
he gets ninth at Pound, and he gets ninth at Function. And before this, we don't even think about this because it happened before Genesis. Nightclub VIP, he lost to Swooper and Aklo.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Okay, are we really gonna talk about the Swooper loss? That was
Oh.
if anybody actually watches that set, it was quite a set.
He didn't know Swooper only had $20. He was like, I thought he had like a 401k or something. I was approaching with the ledge. I don't know. I thought he had a savings.
Yeah, in the future, if you sit down next to Cody and he asks how much money you have on you before you play him, don't be offended. He's just trying to gauge how hard he needs to.
Can you just open your banking app real quick? I want to see what your checking account looks like.
How many comments you got in there?
Can I get those? Can I get groceries and pay stub?
He goes, oh, not even one. Please forward.
But I mean, like these results that we're putting together, it doesn't look like how he's playing. I'll say that. At least from Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing great at Genesis.
Legitimately one of the best Marth Fox sets I've ever seen.
Yeah,
versus
against
Zayn.
Zayn, that was a great set.
I thought he was going to do it at first. The way he was just so clean.
And he rolled over HBox and then losers.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Those two not look close.
Especially the H-Box set.
Mhm.
It was like clinical.
Yeah, he is a really interesting person because, we talk about stuff to prove. He's got to prove that he's still top 5 in the world because the results he's putting up isn't. But when you look at him, I think he's really got that ability.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, look who we have here. We've got another special guest. We've got.
Oh my
Okay, be careful.
Yeah.
Do not bump this chair.
Yes, this is
the number
Precarious
one thing to
setup.
be careful about. And then also there's a cord out there. Not
I can step out. You can
Justin,
take my
watch
stuff.
over the
I'll
cord.
sit for like a little bit.
Yeah, just
This is so.
In the corner, we also have Pudgy Panda, like Trollface Problem in London.
Yeah, if anyone wants to,
Hello.
if anyone wants to say hi, you guys can come on stream really quick if you guys want to.
What is up?
Where should we stand?
Is there room?
If you can just actually like every single wire will crash this entire room if you touch it. But if you can like not touch the wires, you're able to stay. This is your
That's your
ability.
test.
Yeah, this is your test.
Also,
Mission Impossible.
It's the lasers. You just have to miss the lasers.
Gotta watch the
All
buzz.
of that.
scary.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Can I
Sweet. This is my dream come true.
Yes.
Not being at Summit as a player, getting Pudgy Panda on melee stats.
True. Very true. Justin, I hate to inform you, we did decide as a collective, Melee Sets. Edwin emailed me. He emailed me. We don't use his email. He emailed me because it's that important. He said that guest appearances do not count towards jacket. So unfortunately, I don't know if you need to leave, but you don't get stamped.
See you next time.
I can't stamp you on the way
That's
out.
the only way actually that you can get past 4 appearances.
Dark James, we were just talking about Hungrybox. What are your thoughts on Hungrybox?
I think that he could win this tournament.
It's insane that that's true, right? You're not really like. It sounds like a joke, but it's actually so much truer than I think anyone's willing to admit.
I don't think it's I don't even see how it could be a joke. The argument right now is that he has the second best results out of the entire melee field right now.
You're not wrong.
He's very consistent in a world where the 2 through 5 range is not very not consistent.
No.
Especially the last 3-4 tournaments.
Yeah, and he is a player who I think can beat anyone. He is definitely a player who could take close with Zayn and could beat Zayn, the current favorite to win the tournament.
Mhm.
I think counting him out is crazy, and I think that thinking that he might not place high is also crazy. I think that he's been putting up great performances last couple of tournaments. He's been looking solid online, and he's been playing a lot.
He's able to make top
Yeah,
8, which is not a lot of people to say.
Yeah. He also very recently moved to the West Coast.
Yeah, I think
Easy.
he's got a little bungalow, right?
Yeah,
Like
this
a
is
liquid thing.
Team Liquid Apartments.
Yeah.
So he is well rested. It's not like he's like flying from Florida or anything. He is well rested.
No, this is his chance.
That's cool.
Bundon, what do you think?
Of Hungrybox?
Yeah, you've seen him prancing around here,
I
right?
can't give you any like statistical analysis of Hungrybox.
No, but I need
But-
your vibe check on
I
it.
think he's the greatest heel in melee. Like if you go the WWE route, I feel like we need more evil personalities, and that's why I always support Juan. I'm like a big Kurt Angle enjoyer, and that's what Juan is to me. He's the Kurt Angle of melee.
He's
And
not
I-
wrong,
actually.
No, I don't know. He's just
He used to be. He very much used to be.
When he puts the sunglasses on, though.
Yeah, sunglasses.
True.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He can get
AirPods.
on a heel.
Yeah, AirPods.
When I think of heel, I think like no fluxes.
Okay. Maybe not heel, but more personality. He's like a WWE superstar to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't know if it's a bit or it's you, but I love it and I'm a fan.
I mean, he's always been like that, right? He's always been standing up during games.
Yeah.
Bopping to his music. And, he brings an energy and like a feel to stuff that a lot of players don't.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
super true. Yeah.
Justin, the question for you is: will you be Hbox this tournament? Do you think you can take a set of Hungrybox?
I think I can take a set of Hungrybox. I don't think I will play Hungrybox, but I do think I can take a set of Hungrybox.
What if he puts on the sunglasses?
I don't think I stand a chance.
Do you know? You know
Too much
my.
power.
You know what I think you should do. I've said this before in the podcast. You go Black Doc on Battlefield.
Black Dot on Battlefield
It's
is
like Apex 2013.
Okay,
Evo
2013.
2013.
I raise
Ice
one.
versus
I go Game
Yeah.
and Watch.
Oh no. Just completely invisible.
I think honestly, I don't think there's a way he wins that. He's just buried in place. He doesn't know where you are. Fuck, that might work.
That might work. That is the match.
That might work.
What do you do when he takes off his sunglasses mid game though?
You slap it. Control.
I think you. I think
The
you
only
go
other
up to him
way.
and you're like, really? You're gonna do this? You're really gonna take off sunglasses?
Really? It'll be
You're
a
trying versus the
he,
me pick.
You put them on. You put them on. He puts them on the table.
I'm putting them on.
You put them on.
Even if I lose the set and I put on his sunglasses, I go home a champion.
True.
100%.
I think you get to keep the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Justin, what are your goals going to the summit? We were talking about you earlier.
I
You had
have
some very true things to say. Rude, uncompromising.
So, I don't know what people said about me, but here's my complete expectations. People expect me to go 0-5 or 0-6 and not take a game.
Mhm.
I will do my best to subvert those expectations. I would like for more people in like the casual sphere to have an understanding of who I am, what I do,
Yeah.
the videos I make, and the events that I run. And I think that me being on the Summit stream publicly and doing stuff will help with that a decent amount. And the main goal I wanted to have, honestly, is just like have a good week in California with a bunch of my friends. And in that regard, I've already succeeded. We're about to get dumplings with a handful of people who have never been to Summit before and probably will never go again.
Okay, over under for this week, 4.5 times you go to Hot Pot. Over under.
I've already been once.
Okay. So we're at 1.
I'm going
You're ahead of
tomorrow.
schedule.
You're going tomorrow. Okay, we're at 2.
I think under. I think I'm gonna be it's gonna be a 3 or a 4.
So does that mean it's a bad week?
No, I think that it's because I already planned dumplings today. Or Violence planned dumplings. Shout out to Violence, by the way. I do have one more goal though, I should mention.
Yeah.
I want to make it far in Survivor. Dare I say, I would like to win Survivor.
Okay.
And I have been prepping.
You know what? I think that you are someone who. So Mikey asked me how I think people do at Survivor. He said, "Who do you think's gonna win?" I said, "Lod."
Lod.
Lod has a job
I love
and
that.
has a degree, multiple degrees, I believe, and that's something that makes me confident. I think a lot of these smashers, I love these people. This is actually a great summit to go to. Thank you. This is a great summit to go to because a lot of people who are here, yourself included, Fendi, who is not who's like too big to show up
He's
on the
not
show.
here.
He doesn't like us.
Thumbs down to Fendi. He didn't show.
I'm happy with like everyone who's here, and I'm also happy with the players who are here. I like all these players. However, I don't trust smashers in a lot of scenarios. So the scenario where like I don't really know what you have to do in the Smashers Council thing, but I believe it's probably going to be like
What's like
math or something. What is there math involved?
I can give you, let me give you
Yeah.
a brief overview. So the way that the Survivor format works is that we start with 2 teams of 8,
Mhm.
and we do team challenges. After every team challenge, the losing
People can't work
team
together.
will vote someone off.
Okay.
That's the way Survivor works. When it gets down to 8 people, we go to individual challenges. At the end of individual challenges, people who are not immune will vote a person off until we get down to 3 people. When we get down to 3 people, all of the other players will vote on who deserves to win from those 3 people.
So you can't play grimy. Like if I'm in this room of people and I tell everyone, yo, SF is trying to vote everyone off. Let's vote off SF. But then I tell SF that, we got to vote off Webs. Everyone's voting off Webs. Everyone votes off SF. SF's like, in the final round, why the fuck would I give Dark Genix the final round? He played like a jackass. I'm not gonna give it. So you gotta play like both smart, but also not grimy. But also you can play grimy. Just don't let people think you're grimy.
It's deep. You're my pick to win.
It really
I'm trying.
it
You're my
seems like you have prepared a lot for this.
Yeah,
I have
that's why
3
he's my pick.
I have 3 people to thank for that because in total I've received 20 pages of information about Survivor from Magi, Bonsai Warrior, and Zamu, who have all told me things.
Zamu's a big Survivor.
Here's a Melee Stats exclusive. This is gonna prove who watches the show or not. Okay. I have a fucking idol. I have an immunity idol.
You do?
I have a fucking immunity. I have the
Already?
only immunity idol right now. If you watch the show, you'll know that. I will tell you all later, and they'll probably show it later. But don't
Melee Stats exclusive.
do not vote me off round 1. I will fuck you up. If you
Damn, you already got an immunity already?
But don't tell people that.
You just said it.
None of the players are watching.
You
this.
just
I'll tell
you
that
just
right
said it
now.
on what is probably the second biggest Melee podcast that is weekly, bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Yeah, just
Semi-weekly.
I have full confidence that people who are top players are playing Melee right now and not watching this podcast.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I think they're all probably talking about what they're gonna watch when they get back, and they're all probably like, "Yeah, can't wait to see. Just waiting for game to be up."
What if I'm bluffing?
Okay, see,
No,
that's
oh
why I
my
know.
God,
This
yeah.
is
That's next level.
This is why I know he's gonna be good at Survivor.
Oh my
Or,
god.
sorry,
Smash Council.
Smash
Oh, and
Council.
to be clear too, the immunity
legally
idol.
distinct.
The way the immunity idol works is that if you get voted off, like you don't reveal the immunity idol until like you've been voted for, and then you go, surprise bitches. you hold it up, and then they I don't know.
Their
That kind of
votes are
idol's
not
game.
counted. They're not.
That's that kind of.
So the way it works
Yeah.
is, let's say there are 4 votes for me and 3 votes for Wheat, and I'm like, here's my idol. That guy's going down.
But you reveal it after the votes are.
I actually don't know. I gotta ask him.
I'm
about
pretty
it.
sure that
do,
it's
you do?
it's revealed after, yeah.
So I just keep it in my pocket and
So it's
be
like a
because
GA,
you're off.
because the Guardian Angel.
If
So
you
I'm
vote
just
for
chilling.
it, they'll just vote for other people.
Yeah, right.
I'm just chilling.
They gotta flush it down.
Or maybe you're not. Maybe you don't even. Maybe you're not chilling.
Maybe I know who has it, and we have an alliance.
It's all mind games.
It is. It's all mind games.
I will
and
say-
this is part of it.
This is not even a mind game.
That's
I
a
already
mind
have. I'm not a mind game. I've already got a little alliance. Some people.
Oh, man.
So you're winning Summit.
I would like to do well at Smashers Council. A lot of I mentioned this earlier. One of the goals that I have is to like try to make it a little bit further in the casual eye. If I get knocked out of Smasher Council round 1, I don't do that.
Yeah,
true.
I'm here to win.
You know who's on your tribe right now?
Yes, I do.
They'll find out.
They'll find
Yeah,
out.
I don't think that we're.
I don't think we're allowed to reveal it.
Yeah.
But I will say that the Summit art poster might be split directly in half with the teams.
Not to
Now-
Spoiler.
Potentially.
Did you make the art poster this time, or did they put Swift in your
Okay.
place?
So actually, fun thing about that, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say because I'm supposed to go to dumplings and these people are probably starving. The Dark Gen X on the poster looks nothing like me. I was talking with Rachel about this.
Yeah.
And she said to make it more resemblant of me, I have a little mole on my face. Actually, it's right here.
Mm.
And there is a mole on the face of the guy who's on my spot. I was also gonna tell Swift to sign it, but they didn't. They didn't want to do that. And I asked, like, is there any reason why you picked the mole as the facial defining characteristic? And she pulls her mask down and shows me an identical mole in the
Wow.
exact same
Oh,
spot.
that's cute.
Oh wow. Well,
It's empathy.
and on that note,
On that note, I will go devour dumplings. Enjoy Melee stats.
before you leave, who's your pick to win? I need picks from all of you.
I think Zayn's winning this,
Okay.
unless I stop him.
Okay.
But I want to see an H God win. I'm going to be completely real.
I
I, want to see an
would-
H
yeah.
God win.
I had a
would love
feeling.
to see
That'd be great.
a wrench thrown into the gears.
I had a feeling that you'd say that. Bunna?
Survivor, I think Lod's a great pick.
Okay, thank you.
There is
It's a
a
top 3.
there is a side event.
Juan, dude.
Okay.
Juan the Summit. Let's go.
Mr. Panda?
Okay, Dark Gen X easy.
Okay. We've got 2 votes for HBox, 1 vote for Dark Gen X. So I think we're good. Do you wanna say your vote? Who do you think's gonna win?
Survivor?
Yeah.
No,
For the
for the tournament.
For the
tournament.
tournament.
For the tournament, H God.
Okay.
Survivor. I got Justin.
Yeah, well, all right. So it seems like we've got a pretty consensus pick on who's going to be. All right, enjoy your dumplings. I will see you guys tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you on the island.
Careful.
Yeah, just such a professional.
I'm telling you.
God.
Yeah.
Have good
Okay.
dumplings.
Have a good day,
Thank
guys.
you.
You guys have successfully walked through the minefield.
That is
Wires
yeah,
and
I'm
chairs.
stoked that none of the boards got it. They did an incredible job.
True.
If they have obstacle courses, I think Dark Gen X
Yeah,
really
that
will
you know
start going
what?
for it.
He wasn't lying. He was prepared.
He was.
Yes,
Oh,
Connor.
yes.
You are
I'm
back on the couch.
Welcome back.
What are your thoughts that you
took a
have?
thought about
What
H-Man.
I thought. Yeah, so I think HBox. I feel like there's too many people that have like better odds to beat him than not, or like too good of odds to beat him. Like you, IBW obviously is like way up.
I feel like he has
lifetime.
to just dodge Cody.
He
I
has
feel
to-
like
he-
I don't think
he has to dodge
Zayn.
Cody and
Yeah.
somehow beat Zayn, which he hasn't done in a while. And I honestly think he would also have to dodge Mango and Plup and Leffen.
Maybe.
I don't think
Or
he has to
beat
dodge
all
all
three of
of
them.
those.
I think that
He could be all.
the HBox that we've seen recently, I think is redefining what he can do, right?
Maybe so.
We, what was it? It wasn't too long ago when we saw Umsa 3-0 him. Remember that?
Right.
He beat Umsa at Pound in a way that really looked replicable, right? It looked like something that
Was it 3-0? I didn't.
3-1. I think I believe it was a 3-1.
Yeah.
But it looked like something that,
I
if
gotta
they
watch this.
play a bunch more sets, I could see H-Box coming out on top. Plup is someone who's really interesting to me because when he's on, I think H-Box is always a problem, but someone who, he's going to end up beating. Their set at Riptide was super close, and honestly, like one rest there is completely different, right? We saw a 3-2 where Plup was able to pull that out. Especially a Plup in character crisis. I think that's someone who's always scary.
I actually don't know who Plup's gonna go if he plays HBox again.
Zero idea.
Yeah.
It's a complete mystery. Dude, when he played Salt at Genesis, he literally went Sheik. Lost 2 of those games. Fox, Sheik.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, one with the Fox.
One
and then
with
went back
Fox,
to Sheik.
went back to Sheik.
I feel like he just can't decide right now, and it's almost like to a detriment too. I feel like his characters are almost too good. It's like a problem of abundance. It's like,
Yeah.
Where do I put my points? Where do
It's
I
like
put
with
my
Sora too, but I don't know. Plup just has like less confidence in where he should use those characters for.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite because Sora's like overconfident.
Yeah,
but
right.
like he's still trying to feel it out. Sora's like, oh man, I'll just go mom. Easy.
You sort of had fun with it. You're just like, oh, you nailed it.
Nailed it. But yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised if Hungrybox won, but I don't think he's my pick. I think he has to get through too many people that have too good of odds to beat him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that
It is a bit of
the
a-
most likely scenario for HBox is that he outlasts the competition and we go like, I guess HBox is number 2 in the world, right?
I think he's like all but guaranteed top 3 at this tournament. I think he'll at least get third.
We'll see. People are scary for him here, right?
Yeah.
Leffen, if Leffen's on, I think Leffen is really good versus HBox. If Mango's on, right, we've seen that. And then we just didn't see him get 3-0 to Genesis, so it's like, what Mango are we getting, what Leffen are we getting? HBox, we kind of are seeing that he doesn't really have those performances where he doesn't, he's not off to the same extent as some of these other players are.
Yeah.
He is somehow, in 2022, completely different than 2021, he is like the consistent player among those.
That's kind of weird to think about.
It's him and Amsa, I think, are the most consistent players in the top 5, 10 or so. Whatever
Yeah,
you
we're
want to
talking
call it.
outside Zayn, of course.
Yeah, because he's just going to get number 1 at everything, right?
Right. I'm just saying, as a disclaimer,
Yeah.
excluding Zayn from this one.
Excluding Zayn, he is probably the most consistent person, him and Amsa, in a way that we've not seen Cody be.
Fucking Jigglypuff and Yoshi.
Yeah.
For consistency's sake.
Who would have thought,
Yeah.
right? It's really something like that. Like, is HBox the type of guy who's going to end up winning this tournament? Not without like a bunch of huge upsets on the other part of his bracket, right? But is he someone who can get top 3 here? Yeah, I think he's got like a really good chance of getting top 3.
Totally.
All the people who we mentioned, I think Cody has a better chance of winning this whole thing. I think he probably has a worse chance of getting top 3.
Higher
You think
variance.
it's either first place or 7th place for Cody?
Or 9th place.
I think Cody
Something.
Cody's got the ability to lose to a lot of people here, but Cody also has the ability to just go nuts and, end up winning the whole thing.
Make everything look undoable. For
Yeah.
Fox.
Right?
Yeah, true, yeah. He really does make Fox look like the character everyone thinks Fox is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has this ability to just be like, yes, I will utilize these tools in a manner that invalidates me. It's like, shit, I feel invalidated right now. He's very good at that.
It's hard to pick one person to win the tournament. Obviously, Zayn is like the favorite,
Mhm.
but we've seen Zayn be the favorite and lose before.
Is this a new Zayn, though? Is this a different Zayn than we've seen?
My brain says Zayn. My heart, my gut. I actually do truly believe that we're going to see a new Mango. I think Mango can win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first time that Mango's gone into a summit not projected to win and end up winning, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, he's had something unclicked and clicked in the last month since Genesis that I think
Well, since Pound.
since Pound
Yeah.
that it makes me think we're going to see a whole new level of like Super Saiyan 5.
Yeah.
Mango.
What's interesting about Mango is that he historically has not been great at Summit. It's just the past two summits have been some of the best performances he's ever had.
Yeah.
He made grand finals at the first summit, and then he missed grand finals all the way
Until Summit alone.
until Summit. He made Summit 10 grand finals
Oh,
online. I don't know.
even
People
count online.
generally don't tend to count that. But yeah, for in-person summits, he made 1, and then he made 11, and not grand finals. He didn't make it in between.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's kind of turned the tables, right? We see Summit 11, we see Summit 12, and we saw how he did at these in-person open bracket tournaments. Maybe is this a new Mega we see? I think that's an interesting pick.
Another, before I hand it off, another key piece of intel that I think might be a huge factor. This is the first summit that Mango is staying at the hotel and not at home.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So I think he's in game mode, like more so than we've seen at previous summits.
I think everyone would like a Mega win, right?
Yeah.
Not only do I think I would like it, I think it can very likely happen. That is my pick to win summit, Mango. That's what I'm
SF, when you started your week, did you think you'd be in a hotel room in an undisclosed location? About to give your thoughts on who's going to win Summit 13 on one of Melee's biggest podcasts,
One of we could top
Radio Melee?
maybe top 10.
I think what I used to say way back when was that we are Melee's biggest podcast without a top 100 member as a consistent podcast host.
That's actually
Yeah,
pretty good metric.
But now Yard.
They're not a Melee
They're not a
podcast.
Melee
Are you
podcast.
sure?
They do talk about Melee once every
No.
10
Yeah, right,
episodes
you're
or
right,
so.
you're right.
They're like a dick podcast.
They're
Yeah.
a Dick and Balls podcast.
They're a
Yeah.
vacation podcast. They just take trips and then talk about it.
True.
Man, is that what we need to do?
That sounds hype.
Hey,
Well, I'm on a
where
trip
are
right
we?
now.
Yeah.
You, Edwin, and Amby go to Fate. And have
Yes.
podcasts there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
Smash Can?
I'll pitch $20 for that.
okay.
I'll send you guys
Anyway.
an
If everyone in the world gave us
Don't
$20,
miss
we
it.
should go to every tournament we wanted to.
Don't miss
I won't lie.
That's
I'll,
just
I'll wait out the priority.
It's the
one
waiting
for
for game
people.
tax.
We'll get you.
SF, here's your time. Make or break. This is your star-making performance. No pressure.
No pressure. At
Who
all.
do you think is going to win Smash Summit 13?
Zayn.
Okay.
All right, that's it. no. I don't know. I mean, I feel like all the data says Zayn, but like Zayn at Summit is just such a weird thing. Where like I remember after Genesis 7 where he won, I was like, wow, this is it for Zayn's #1, and then he like lost to Plup, got 3-0 by Plup there,
Yeah.
and lost to Mango. I was like, what? And I don't know. I think there's something with Zayn at Summit that I just don't feel so confident in saying that he's gonna win. I don't know if it's like an endurance thing or it's like that. He's I don't know.
You know what I think it is actually? It's not that it's about him, it's about his opponents.
Mm.
I think that maybe the Summit atmosphere kind of helps his opponents more.
Play to his level and like that's
Yeah, kind of step up to his levels.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he plays necessarily worse at Summits. I mean, look at Summit 11, the Grand Finals. I
Yeah.
will not shut the hell up about how I think it's one of the most insane
Yeah.
couple of sets of all time. The stakes and everything that led up to it, and then for that quality of gameplay to happen, it's just outrageous. I think that more than anything, Zayn has achieved this standard, this floor at open bracket tournaments that makes it incredibly difficult to overcome him
Mm.
because he's not, he's there to win. He's prepared. He's clocking in. He's not wasting energy in his early sets. He's like, he's there to win. And it's easier for other players to get into that mentality at this tournament. Yeah. Especially when they're getting concerted, consistent, nonstop warm up over the course of 5 days
Yeah.
to really
all melee all the time.
yeah, and it's part of that's like it's not an open bracket tournament. You're still gonna be playing a shitload of melee over 5 days, so you have to be able to reserve that energy for Championship Sunday. But if you're able to do that, we get Smash Summit 11 Grand Finals,
Mhm.
and I would love, not necessarily for it to be Mango Zayn again, but to just get another Grand Finals of that caliber.
Yeah.
And Summit is the place where we get sets like that, man. Summit is where the magic happens.
Yeah, I think you make a great point because when you talk about Zayn, yeah, the idea of like Zayn at Summit, right? Does Zayn play worse at Summit? I think what you pick up is great because his A game and his B game are both incredible.
They're like almost indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so just solid. Man.
It's
He
like-
doesn't drop these conversions.
His B game is like he's playing at 90 8% or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
His B game is still so good, but it's when you have his B game versus someone else's B game. That's why it looks like it's this crazy gap. But if you have his B game versus someone else's A game, or his A game versus someone else's A game, that's where we see sets like 7-11, right? And that's where we see all these things of being like, maybe Zayn can't win a summit. These types of things. I think it really comes from that. You have a great point of it's the preparation of everyone else.
Yeah.
So does that come into play here? What do you think, Webbs? Who is your pick for Summit 13?
Zayn's my pick,
Mhm.
but what I'm more interested in is top 3. I
Okay.
want to see who makes it to winners finals,
Mhm.
who makes it to losers finals, and how those sets play out. And I think that's going to be really interesting because Connor brought up earlier about there's a lot of players when it comes to like HBox Plup, like Cody, Mango. All of these guys have not necessarily Leffen, yeah.
Jamin.
And then
We have so many
Jamin.
talk dude, it's like I can't even like to talk about losers finals and winners finals in the top 3 spots. There's 6 players that we could bring up that could all very conceivably be in those spots.
in my opinion,
Probably
more like
more you
10.
could say, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
honestly,
really
yeah.
insane.
It is
Honestly, how long have we gone on this podcast? And this is the first time we mentioned J-Mook.
wild. Dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like we should actually do another episode.
Yeah,
We can quickly talk about, like, obviously he didn't look like he could really do anything about Zayn at Genesis.
Which he took a game. He took a game in winners finals. He not only did he take a game, he took in the last stock at least one of the other games, and I think that he easily could have taken that game 5.
Yeah.
But it's Zayn's consistency and his ability to.
It was a lot of the small
Put it away.
things. It was a set where you have. I think Edwin very eloquently said, if you give Leffen the controller like that, during like edge guards, then J-Mook wins.
That's pretty
Everyone's
funny.
like, if he just watches Zayn versus Leffen for 10 minutes, he just win these sets easily.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like it's true. There were a lot of moments where you would see it'd be like, oh, J-Mook doesn't know this, or J-Mook is afraid of ledge in this scenario. J-Mook, but was still doing amazing, right? It's this type of thing where like normally you'd see these things and you'd be a little like, not sure how I feel about this. But the fact that everything else was going so well and it still looked like a really close set, even with those like kind of glaring holes, that's something. Yeah, I mean. Are we going to see that from J-Mook? Are we going to see that consistent throughout, or are we going to see those glaring holes?
I think he showed what his peak looks like at Genesis, and what we're sort of looking for in his performance this weekend is how does he square up against people who are also playing at their peaks. We haven't seen him against Mango. We haven't seen him against Leffen. We haven't seen him against Kadoran.
Yeah.
We don't know how he's going to do against any of these people. Obviously, he set the precedent that like he can beat practically anyone if he's playing great. He 3-0'd IBDW when, as our friend Zayn pointed out, not top player Zayn, Pangu pointed out, IBDW is very good against Sheik.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also very good against Sheik, and J-Mook beat both of these players.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see how he does against someone like Mango, who is very good against Sheik as well. He's good against everyone.
Yeah.
And against Leffen, who is very good against Sheik as well. Like, we don't know how he's going to do. We don't know if he's going to play to the environment like some other players do, and we don't know how he's feeling about the pressure.
It's also his first time at Summit, right?
This is his first Summit.
Yeah.
Now, what he did his first time on stage, really his first time on a big stage, maybe you count for local fight night. That's online. I don't think that counts. I think his first time on a big stage was Smash World Tour, where he did pretty damn well. And then his first time on a huge stage was Genesis,
where he did beyond damn well.
So we've seen like a level of confidence that is like pretty much unmatched from any new player you see.
Totally.
So it's up to like, in a situation like this, Summit, which is every other player who we said could win or could do really well has been here so many times. For J-Mook to be this is his first time. It's a completely different environment, right? It's not like Genesis and Evo where there's like a corollary, right? They're like similar in a way. This is a completely different environment. So we'll see. I think he's gonna be an interesting person to watch out for. I think he's outside chance to get top 3, do really well. But Webbs, if you could continue your point, I heard J-Mook and everyone's ears just popped up.
Yeah.
I think there was a larger point there that we all just kind of ran over though.
It wasn't necessarily a larger point, but it was more just that I think that when we talk about who's going to win the event, like that's not my biggest like thing that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Like because we do have a clear favorite. You know, it's Zayn, and the story is like, will he do it? But there are so many more storylines at play, so much more at stake for all these other players that looking at, you know, who's able to make it through Gauntlet into winners and then take advantage of that, push themselves farther is really going to be the storyline. It's going to be, I mean, everybody loves, you know, people who are true Melee heads love Top 64 Day. They love watching those sets where those players, those incredible players from around the world, international, you know,
See what wins they can pick up.
exactly, yeah. And it's, you know, at Summit, we get a little bit of that. We get, you know, I mean, honestly, for the number of players we get a lot of that. We get a lot of sets. We get the round robin pools. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so much Melee. And so we're going to get basically round 2 pools of a super major over and over again for 2.5 days before we get to finals day.
Round 2 pools is like officially the Melee stats round. We're gonna sponsor it like people sponsor highways or something like that.
Round 2 pools brought to you by
Melee stats. And we're gonna like somehow we're gonna make Papa John's okay with us like co-signing round 2 pools. No, but they're really like it is a time where it's really fun to watch. The viewing experience is amazing.
Yeah. Getting into Melee now is a better time than ever. Man.
True.
It's just to be able to and getting into Melee too, you're not actually able to truly appreciate what I mean by that because the quality of play has just gotten so high, and that it's something that you expect.
Yeah.
If you've just started watching since like 2020, 2019, something like that, now to 2020 and everyone's so 2022 and everyone's so good. But even if you aren't able to appreciate the step up in quality, you're still able to appreciate it just at how damn good and fast people play this game.
More than ever. I remember being at majors and the round two pools thing is very fun. You're like scrambling around.
Yeah.
And you're like,
love looking for this.
There's a bunch of people on this set. And you look over,
and
then someone's like, I hear Moki's playing this guy. He's down 0-1. And then you like run over, and then like by the time you get there, they're like, this person just wants like.
Yeah.
It's like
the vibe is amazing, man.
It's like what I imagine like the Wall Street floor is, right? Like everyone's just running around,
got bills in their hands.
Yeah, it's insane. Like everyone's like going around like their newsies or something.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like we've seen tournaments where that like goes before round 2 or like earlier round 2 that you ever expect because of what you're saying.
It used to be top 64 and now it's
round 2.
Yeah, we're getting back.
We're just like further and further back. Look at round 1 pools in the function.
Look at that.
The level play that we've been seeing is insane.
To be fair, there was no round 2 pools at the function.
Okay,
We just went to top 32.
True. Okay, well, still.
Round 1 is the new round 2.
Literally people's round 2 match. Like not round 2 pool, round 2 match.
Whereas in the past, where a large regional like the function, you would kind of breeze over pools.
Yeah.
Now pools are worth watching.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So no, I think you're right because this is an event that it has that idea of this like you don't know what's gonna happen, right? There's uncertainty.
Yeah.
But the level of play is still so high.
Yeah.
That
Did you say you're picked for winning Summit?
I'm ramping into it.
Okay.
The level of play is still so high, and I truly believe that we have no way of knowing what's gonna happen here. I think there's like we could Doctor Strange it. I think like literally like any smattering of these players in any order seems feasible to me, right? Could Blue win it? Who knows?
I would love to see.
I cannot wait to see
I
Blue
met
play
Blue
without
last
being
night.
amazing.
He's a great kid.
Can we do the blue minute real quick?
Yeah, let's do the Blue minute.
So I
met
presented by webs. So I flew in last night, and Blue landed about the same time as me. So Blue, Bonfire, and I all grabbed an Uber over to the hotel, so I got to talk to Blue a little bit. Blue started playing first tournament 2018.
That's insane.
This is another generation. People who started in 2018, 2019, and onward. What do we even call this new generation? He's part of a generation like
Slippy kids.
He doesn't remember when
Yeah.
Summit first came into Smash.
It was live.
Did he ever see Armada play live?
You've never seen.
I
it
know
live.
that. I think I mentioned that part, but
I mean, probably not, right?
I mean, SF, you came into the scene in 2019.
yeah, like started 2019. Genesis 6 was the first tournament I watched.
That's insane.
Wow. So you're part of the Slippy generation?
It's like how Doc Kids they're like, no, I started playing 20. It's like, no, Doc Kid. No, like I started playing like January 2013. No, you're a Doc Kid.
I mean, yeah, I've been I started in 2013, but that's a docket.
True.
Around that time.
And now we are ruthlessly mean to the new generation.
We're not
Well, we're getting pushed out. There's something happening here.
I haven't
it's
tasted that, so I'm not good with
Yeah.
Change that.
to continue.
that. I have to, you know.
Yeah, let's hear about this blue minute.
to continue. Far more in a minute. But yeah, started playing really recently. Super active in Indiana in their local scene. To
Yeah.
top player in Indiana too.
Streams. I think all the locals are on blue stream.
And graduating college soon, so looking at future possibility to start attending more tournaments, and a good player in his own right too. Played him a little bit today, very solid. I did not take any games against him. Got him down to last stock a couple times with my Falcon. I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, because he's mostly an unknown to me. Just playing some friendlies against him and seeing how solid he is. It doesn't really tell me that much against the field. So I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how he manages his nerves. And competes.
I'd like to see more from blue. I mean, which we will. Literally, all I've seen from blue is him like tapping me on my shoulder and say, "Hey, are you eat?" So anything more will be more from blue. So I'm very excited to see what we get from there. But I know the question on everyone's mind: who do I think is going to win this tournament? I think we've all been kind of doing this thing, and this is what we used to do way back when we did the podcast with Zayn and Title. Is that everyone would say, "I think Hungrybox is going to win, but I want to say this person."
Yeah, that used to be the go-to meta.
Because it's not fun to say even if no one had any issues with Hungrybox, it's not fun to say the person who everyone thinks is going to win.
Right.
And then Zayn has gotten to the level that we talked about. Like everyone kind of thinks he's going to win. I think he's the safe pick, right? I think Zayn is the safe pick here. And I think that in most scenarios, Zayn walks out on top. So I think, I guess if I can kind of pussyfoot around, I'll say that I think Zayn's going to win. But I would say keep an eye out on Leffen. Leffen is a player who his big issue for a while was Marth. And oddly enough, the pandemic both gave him a lot of time to prepare his Sheik and also gave him really not a lot of people to practice against.
Right.
But when he has looked good in the past, like I said, he's looked like the best player in the world. And I think that still continues with the Sheik. I have seen those friendlies. I've seen cross-coast friendlies. Cross-coast meaning from one coast to another.
One coast of one country to another coast of another country. Way over there.
Those are two coasts.
Not wrong.
I've seen the coast of Stockholm to the coast of Virginia. I've seen the Virginia-Sweden ones. I think I saw that on delay-based. I've seen it on Slippy. I've seen it on 3 frames. I've seen it on Crystal Build. I've seen it in person.
They play, yeah.
I've watched all those because I think those are legitimately some of the best Sheik Marth games that we've ever seen. We saw the 5-1. We've seen all these things. We know that he can do this. And I think that, he's not someone who's really performed extremely well at Summit. A lot of times he's come back from big things. Like Summit was his entrance in. I think Summit, I don't remember the exact number, but he came back from his visa issues and got 9th losing acts or whatever.
What year was that?
Years ago.
If it was
It's probably 5 or something, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Around there.
It was around then.
The big house. That was the big house PC thing, right?
Yeah. So I feel like he's had a lot, and of course, Summit 12.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of entrances back into Melee through Summit, and we've seen them not go so well. But I don't know. I think he's someone to watch out for.
He's a dog now.
He's got a dog now, and
Something to fight for.
yeah, he's got a dog now. But the question is, does he have that dog in him?
Ooh, that is a little bit of wordplay. Can I ask, are we confirming to see Leffen at a bunch of other tournaments for us here? Do we know what he's planning on?
I don't think we know.
Because he said he's trying to go hard.
That's
what he said.
He registered for Combo Breaker for Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
So dude, there's randomly a bunch of good Melee players who are entering Melee at Combo Breaker. Laudandis is entering.
Zio is there.
Yeah, Zio. Yeah.
No, Zio plays multiplayer.
I think a lot of them do.
Pretty much all of them who are there are board FGC games, and they're just entering Melee because Melee is actually a side event. It's not a.
It's not a main game.
Yeah.
Community events. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Very nice.
I like it. That's a nicer way to say it. Yeah. Love Combo Breaker too, by the way. Nothing against them, of course.
I'm working Combo Breaker.
Yeah, and Rick, who's been in charge for a long time.
Rick and Marco.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Margo also a huge contributor. Yeah.
Very.
Really.
And Chicago seems like a fun place. I know it's not Chicago itself, but
It's unfortunately in a crappy part of the suburbs of Chicago, but the venue's pretty
It's a
nice.
new venue. Then
It's in Schaumburg.
it's a Schaumburg.
Yeah. I know what you
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't
I
know
know
much.
you- Maybe the audience doesn't know. Okay.
It is a new venue, yeah. Good point.
I'm someone who does not know.
see, that's why you come here.
Yeah.
That's why you get on the Melee Stats, the Waiting for Game podcast.
The suburban map.
Is your pick then Leffen? Is that what you're saying?
You did heart pick, brain pick, right?
I think everyone's brain pick is Zayn.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if we could all
If
agree
your
that,
brain pick isn't Zayn, then what's going
Something's
on with your
wrong,
brain?
right?
yeah, we might have to get you checked in.
There is a real large part of both my brain and my heart that says Mega will win this tournament.
Okay. It sounds like that's just your heart.
No,
your heart's telling your
Well, there's
brain
some
that
logic
it's
behind
right.
it.
There's some
logic.
Yeah,
logic
true.
that I'm applying that I have faith in, and I'm sure I'll be wrong in some way or another. But I've seen crazy stuff from Leffen
Very
or from
true.
Mango, and it sounds like you're saying something similar about Leffen.
How about this? Leffen's going to win a summit this year.
Ooh, okay. There's only one other one.
Yeah,
Only one other one for Ultimate, for Melee. Maybe he'll win Ultimate. Maybe there'll be a Guilty Gear summit.
Oh, actually, he's really been grinding Rocket League. He's coming in hot, dude. He wants that
that
W
is a hard
anyway
game.
he can get it. Oh yeah.
You'll
I-
never know what comes out from him. Well, I mean, if you say that he's going hard, I do believe it. His dog is going to get older. That's how dogs work.
Wait.
Well, that's really sad. Don't
You
tell
have to
me
bring
that.
that up.
Yeah. What?
What the hell?
What are you talking
What
about?
did you say?
Dogs
Puppies
live
are
forever.
puppies are harder to take care of than older dogs.
Dogs don't get old.
Dogs don't
Yeah,
know.
they don't age.
I didn't have a dog.
We're gonna
I'm talking
move on
like
to the
three-
next
I guess I'm
segment.
talking 3 people who have dogs, and I
You
just
have a conversation with me.
okay.
It's just
What
too
I'm
sad.
saying is that how we think about
It'll
it
get
Leffen right
easier
now,
for him.
it'll get easier for him to travel. I think that if he wants to go hard, I feel like every year he says he wants to go hard, and then every year, but like we've seen him say, "I've got to de-rust," and it's like after 5th place at stuff, and like we've seen the whole cycle. But generally in that cycle, he picks up really, really good wins, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole cycle of it is, he never puts him at 1st place in the world, which I think is how he views his ability rightfully, because he can literally
Always.
can be 1st place in the world any given time.
Yeah.
So like he's usually hard on himself, but all the times he comes back and like is able to enter a lot of events, we see great events from him.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not this summit. I legitimately think that he is going to be winning a major this year.
Don't second guess yourself. He will win this summit. Say it with your chest.
I think he's going to win the summit, and then I think he's going to like directly after he wins, he's going to search me out and hug me.
Manifest that reality.
He's going to be like,
Manifest
he's
it.
going to win it over like J-Mook, and J-Mook's going to like go for like a like a firm handshake.
I can't imagine Leffen being emotional enough to hug anyone after a win, except
Except
for
his
like
dog.
Armada or his girlfriend or something.
Why'd you point to me when you said his girlfriend?
You've got long hair.
I do have like he might get confused.
In his relation.
The gold and the blonde here, they're really just
Oh man. Hey, so I'm curious about something.
Yes.
You mentioned that Leffen has often had Summit be his reentry into Melee after a period of time away from the game. I think that Summit is an incredible event to make your return to because it's a jump start to get you back into the swing. Do we have any statistics about Leffen's success after going to a summit? I would love to know. I mean, I'm not expecting you to get this off the top of your head. This is more of like an
Edwin,
open-ended-
fax us those numbers.
We've definitely
in the Twitch chat right now. Post it.
Edwin emailed me earlier about Dark Jedi. He's gonna fax this in.
I mean, I'm looking at the big picture end of year rankings right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking when I talk about this.
Well, we're
It's
doing
like-
mid-year rankings.
We are doing mid-year. We're bringing back the mid-year. Thankfully, we're not doing quarterly. Shoutouts.
Maybe we'll do trimesters, like some like weird schools do.
Yeah.
No, well, Leffen's had entries back into the scene. I think you're right. Summit's a really cool way because you're not getting thrown into 1,000 people who want to take photos with you, and like you're.
He was already asking about a player-only quiet room today too.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, he was actually
40 people is too
pounding
much.
him on. Yeah, it is quite packed actually.
It is, yeah. It is.
So like
Not overly crowded. I'm sure.
But yeah, it's a great way to play a lot of people. You get to play people more than you would at like Genesis. Also, to prepare for. Yeah, it's like a really great way to get re-entered back in the scene. He had that summon he got ninth at. I think he lost like Michu King. He lost to Axe, people who he's done well versus. He had the last one that he went to where he got reverse 3-0'd a bunch of times. Did really well. When he got like 7th, yeah, 5th.
Fifth.
Yeah,
He beat HBox in
Yeah.
top 8, like 3-0 HBox.
Yeah. So he's done really well. And he did go to Pound recently, so this is not really a re-entry for him.
5th at that as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like still, when it comes to Leffen, I feel like there's always like this Sisyphean thing where he's always like pushing the boulder up the hill, and the top of the hill is like number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
And we always just see him push it up, and then it goes back down a little and push it back up.
And then the U.S. government gets in the way.
Yeah, the
US
US government
government,
drops another boulder on He's pushing. Yeah, right. There's always
Guessing your stride.
So we'll see where he is.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, just please give me a solid year of Leffen competing. I would love. I can't. I
It's
would love
been
to
so
see it.
long since we've had that.
I know.
I've never
and
seen
it's
it.
just- It's you've never even seen it. Just you've seen flashes of Leffen.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
like,
you
wow.
get.
And I was like, wow.
You get a
alternate.
set here or there.
Ooh, strive.
Yeah. I would love to see that.
It's what you talk about. Plups too good at other characters. Leffen, if Leffen was not good at other games, then imagine how melee would be.
You should just be less of a god gamer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's just amazing at everything he picks up.
Tamp down on the
Except
jeans.
for having a
The
dog that
ultimate
is
gamer genes.
under control. Apparently.
I think Toto's just fine. Yeah, so we'll see what's so. I mean,
It's so interesting. I'm so excited to watch.
Yeah.
any outcome, right?
Yeah.
Like regardless, what someone is able to put through any outcome is amazing.
Except for like someone getting sick and dropping out day 1.
Okay, well, I don't know why you said that.
Fuck.
Why?
No,
Sorry.
like
We're good.
every single thing that happens here. That's what happens when you get all these players together, and we are seeing like a more influx group of players than we've ever seen. Right, like the players here are at like these. We don't know where any of them are at in terms of their career, in terms of like how they're going to do.
Yeah.
Whatever happens is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like legitimate toss up for everyone here, except for the guy with the sword.
Yeah, sword. It
Sword
is
guy.
a big sword.
It does have a sword.
Yeah.
Is a yeah, it's really
Have
nice.
you seen it
Zayn
compared to
sword
like Link's sword? It's way bigger.
Roy sword.
Roy.
Sword. Sorry.
The thing about a Link sword though is that Link he's always wielding it with 2 hands. Too many of his attacks, he's got both hands on the hilt.
That's true.
Marth on the other hand,
Mars does one hand the sword
he's
most of the time.
I swear he's
I can
jacked.
actually.
What's his other hand doing? Do you think?
He's counterbalance.
Oh, sure.
And floor
That's why he's more successful. I got it
Yeah.
all figured out.
Pushing the game back, make it look nice.
Link just needs to drop the shield. He drops the shield and he's doing better.
You got.
We've got some questions. This is part of the show. SF, you are a patron yourself, but I guess you're gonna.
I'm also.
Do you have any questions for yourself currently?
No, in fact, I
There's
don't.
one question that I want you to ask. Do
Okay.
you know which one?
This
I
is from
looked up.
Contra.
Okay.
This is directed towards you, Contra.
Uh-huh.
The question is why.
Very good question. I've thought about that a lot myself. I don't have a strong answer at this time, but I'm just gonna keep going until I find one.
That's fair.
Handshakes on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the question, Patreon user.
Actually, we're all patrons.
Yeah, no. This is,
All 3 of us are patrons.
well, basically, I think the new meta for waiting for game is that I think if you give us $5, that you're more likely to be on Darkgenix, patron. Fendi, who is not good enough to be on the show, is good enough for the patron. It turns out that I might only be friends with people who are
Give you money.
to give us money.
$5.
Yeah,
Or they lost a bet to Edwin.
true. Yes.
I've actually only won bets that I didn't commit to against Edmund.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Imagine your life if you committed to all those. Where would you be right now?
Maybe still a patron.
Very possible. But we've got some questions from some current Patreon members. All right, so this one is from SSB Seal. I think he's our
Love Steel.
he's our patron Q&A superstar.
You do be asking lots of questions.
And good
And
ones.
good ones.
Good
And
ones.
good questions.
So this one's for Webs. For Webs, if you could choose only one retired Midwest player to bring back, who would it be?
Tink.
Mm.
Oh, that was fast.
That's a good one.
I would bring
Great
Tink
actually.
back in a heartbeat. Tink, always one of my favorite people at tournaments.
Mhm.
Super homie, fun-loving guy, loves doubles. He's like
In this day and age.
You know how Kells is just like a lovable guy.
Mhm.
And like Kells would have been the obvious pick, I think, for me. Except for like I can go back to Chicago and see Kells still. I'd have to go find him in Indiana somewhere to see what he's up to these days. He went to some tournaments when I first started, up until maybe like 2015 or so. He was still showing up occasionally to things and doing pretty well. He wasn't, practicing actively, so he wouldn't do like amazingly, but he was just always a really good player with great intuition for the game, and historically one of the most forgotten players from the Midwest.
I agree.
And I think that he deserves more recognition. It'd be really cool to see him come back and compete and do well.
Webs, that was a great answer and very quick. Not sure if you know this, CL asks these types of questions pretty frequently, and these are always like one step away from entrapment because he has a list of players who he does not want the person to answer.
Oh, really?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he said, you can't say Kells, you can't say Duck. He has a list. He asked me.
Those are obvious picks.
He asked me to ask Ryobeat like who he thinks is a up and coming Peach player, and then he's like, he can't say Wally, he can't say B-Bax, he can't.
Yeah, Cameron.
Yeah, he can't say Jamron. The obvious answer for up and coming Peach player. He does ask these questions that he has all these stipulations, and like you only get to find them out once you pass the test. But you did pass the test, and you did it with flying colors.
I'll tell you too. I did not cheat and look ahead of time on this. I haven't looked at any of the Patreon questions at all.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And this one's for everyone. This is we had an individual question for you. Sorry. An individual question for Webs. This one's for everyone. This is from probably the silver medalist in terms of Patreon questions.
Oh, I know this question.
This is Zadrio. This is, if everyone in the Summit House just went into an all-out brawl, who would be the last person standing?
Mac.
You gotta be Mac. You cannot stop him.
Are you kidding me? It's coming down to a duel between Mac and Salt. Because Salt is actually quite fit, and Mac ain't stopping. So, those two duel to the death in a very
unstoppable force versus the invisible objects.
Could Law just keep healing himself though, as a doctor?
Yeah, very well. Well, I think it's illegal to operate on yourself. So if there's like a wound that he needs to,
Southern California police would come. It's like, sorry.
we all are thinking players.
Oh.
Is there any dark horse candidate who is at Summit or would be at Summit reasonably soon?
Wait, the question was not just about the players.
Just everyone in the Summit House.
Well, it's not a house; it's a studio.
Okay, so never mind. They're dumb.
So
Get
everyone's
it
in the
together,
studio.
I might change my answer.
Damn.
I think
I know.
I
who
think
it
I can
is.
do it.
I know who it is.
That was,
Ken Chen.
Ken Chen,
Ken is just a winner, dude.
Ken is winning in his veins.
He'll figure it out. Yeah, he might not be the he's not gonna win the fights.
No.
He's gonna figure out a way.
Convince someone else to win for him.
Exactly.
And then
drop an anvil on there.
it's the home field advantage of Saga.
He'll be
He's got the
3-4
place.
steps ahead of everybody else.
It's
All
straight
strapped
up
down.
like Home Alone.
Dude, exactly. It's his studio. He's not losing.
He's got it rigged since day one for exactly this situation.
Yes.
Every Tom and Jerry thing, just all flipped out.
Any situation. Yeah, if you see like a bowling ball roll somewhere,
There's like pairings on the floor.
there's some Rube Goldberg ass thing going on.
Also, just for anyone who doesn't know who Ken Chen is, he's I don't know what his official title
creative
is.
director.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
creative
Hotbit.
director. His tag Hotbit.
Or he's still not. He's just Hotbit.
But most people, people don't call him Hotbit.
He's
or
Ken
anything. He's Ken Chen, and you'd known as Hotbit from originally. He was a big StarCraft guy.
Yeah.
Dota is as well. Yeah.
No, he is definitely someone. When I
I've
was
been with BTS for a while now.
That was the guy in the back of my mind the entire time. He is someone who I cannot explain why I think he would win.
Yeah.
But he has an attitude about him that, and I've only after known him for one day. I am like, this guy, he'd do this. We would joke in high school when the Hunger Games was around. God, that doesn't make me old. I would joke about that. If I were ever in a Hunger Games, I would immediately die. Like I do not have the winning spirit. I would immediately die. I think Ken would win the Hunger Games. I think he
Yeah,
has
I
the
think
winning
Ken
spirit.
would. Yeah.
And then what is this if not the Hunger Games?
He's an
right?
overwhelming favorite to win the Hunger Games.
Yeah. And there's just something about it. I couldn't explain
I couldn't
why.
explain it either.
He's got intangibles.
The intangibles.
That is the best way to put it.
Intangibles.
We've had a little bit of a thing recently, and this is a Papa John's event, so I guess we should ask this question. This has become is it a favorite Patreon question? Who knows? People might not actually like this question, but we've been asking about
It's a
this.
go-to.
Yes, it is a go-to. It's a nice question. What is your favorite pizza topping? SF, starting with you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a plain pizza man. I get mine with
Wow.
cheese.
Now, does that mean if you get one topping, like you would if you order the $13 large one topping epic stuffed crust pizza from Papa John's, would you forego the topping or would you get cheese as your topping?
I guess I would get cheese as my topping.
Okay, so extra cheese.
Extra cheese. Yeah, I like cheese. Cheese is good, But otherwise, my palate can't handle more flavors than that. Sort of just explodes.
So you're very white.
So you're-
yeah, exactly.
You're not
I'm
getting
glad
hot
you-
pot?
I'm glad you get it.
No hot pot with dark eggs.
Absolutely not.
You just eating a bowl of white rice.
Oh,
I'm good.
hey, I put soy sauce in there.
I was gonna say I'd offer you salt, but it might be a little too spicy.
Yeah.
Pepper is way too much.
It is.
Now, Connor, you are coming off of a little bit of a stomach issue. we all know.
Yes,
So, but
so-
in an ideal situation,
I don't know if you know this about me, but one of my first contributions to Oregon Melee was a Facebook group called Serious Pizza Discussion.
so you are like uniquely equipped for this.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Truly.
Why
And
would you make that?
there was a long thread on Facebook on the Oregon Melee Facebook page after some house tournament where people were arguing about the pizza that they ordered, and someone said, "Why would you order this pizza with pineapple on it?" And it sparked a whole big discussion. The way you phrase the question, it's any one pizza topping.
Well, that's the big debate, right? There's
Yeah.
multiple schools of thought.
I did have a
So
question
yeah,
about
if it's the pizza topping that I put on every pizza is pineapple,
Interesting.
but I don't think pineapple is good
If you only had one.
if there's only one pizza topping. So in the case where it's only one, it's peppers. It's like green peppers.
Green peppers. Okay.
They've
I
got
like the
the
way you
texture and they've got a subtle enough flavor, but most of the flavors coming from the cheese and the sauce.
Sure. Doesn't detract from the entire thing. Right?
Exactly.
And you know what? That is similar to the answer that Toph gave. Toph said onions.
Onions also
Because if you got
Onions
more
are
than
good
one
too.
on anything, it'd be onions. Now, would you get peppers and pineapple?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's a great combo.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't know.
You're missing out on a whole world of great pizza.
Oh, I'm aware.
As you know.
It's like crossed a bear.
Yeah, he's Squidward in the house looking at everyone else.
Yeah.
running around. But he knows it. He's happy with it.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Webbs, you are of course a man from Chicago.
Yeah.
You are, Chicago, great pizza dynasty there. They've got a long history of pizza.
Yeah.
You told me about your ideal ordering of the 4 main pizza ingredients in terms of how much you like them. But if we have to talk about topping specifically, what is your favorite topping?
Well, the thing is that, are we talking about just like a pan pizza? Because there's a lot of different kinds of pizzas, and
Take
depending
this how
on
you see fit.
what kind of pizza it is. Well, if I'm getting like a brick oven pizza, then I would just get like basil
Mm-hmm.
and just get make sure there's a really tasty sauce on there. Basil with a really good tomato or pizza sauce
Mhm.
or whatever that's I think, and a little bit of cheese. Put a little mozzarella on there, it's amazing. But if I'm just getting like a pan pizza, I'm just gonna get pepperoni. I'm just gonna keep it simple. I think you get the pepperoni, the ones that curl up a little bit, so you get the little pools of grease in there. Yeah. And then you tear the crust off, and you dip it into the grease, and you eat it. No, I'm just kidding. That's wild.
You put your fingers in there and you rub them all over.
You become grease man. You start running around the house completely naked, scaring your cats.
It's
Everybody
like
does
Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs.
Yeah.
That
Ate
grossed me out.
So gross.
It grosses me out to this day.
Yeah, the sound that they use for it too. Oh
God. So pepperoni.
yeah, pepperoni for a solo on a pan. Yeah,
I like your basil.
it's good.
They're very respectable.
Well, I don't know if I've said this on pod. I've said that I think I go cheese. I think I might go plain. Because what I do is every time I get a topping, I'll get like half topping, half cheese. And then I always go to the cheese one more. I just like that one more. And in terms of like, I don't know if I have one that is far away, the thing that I always get. But I might have said this before. I think basil's an amazing thing. You know, if you're getting it, the type of pizza that will work with it, right? I'm not going to get it on just the fucking, random.
I'm not getting Papa John's with basil.
Well, I
know that's Papa John's.
I think Papa John's is great.
We love Papa John's.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean,
It has to fit.
I'm ordering Papa John's. I'm just not getting basil on Papa
It has
John's.
to fit the pizza. And if you're getting like an actual, like stone fire pizza or something like that, or like pizza that would work with basil, like a margarita pizza is amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
But in terms of just like, hey, we're all ordering like stuff. What do you want? I probably wouldn't need anything.
Right.
I love all types of pizza. I don't know if I love buffalo chicken pizza. That's a great one.
Can't get behind that. Can't get behind chicken on pizza.
You know what? I love
No, I hate it.
I love barbecue chicken pizza.
Barbecue chicken pizza is the single grossest pizza to exist.
It's okay to be
It's
wrong.
so gross.
You know, like
That's
I know you're from
wild.
Chicago. You
Yes.
probably like deep dish.
sausage
I
on
do
a
like
pizza's
deep dish.
fun.
But the thing about Chicago is that
Pepperoni's good.
Chicago is known for its deep dish, but you can get any kind of pizza in Chicago
New
and
York
have it
style
be good.
pizza turns into an icicle in Chicago, though.
What do you mean?
It's so thin and the wind is
Well, you're not going to the right
That's the
place.
wind.
You're not going to the right place. Then. You gotta
so
go to the
cold
right.
in Chicago.
It's cold Chicago.
Yo, New York is just an absolute balmy. I totally
Summer,
forgot.
yes.
Yeah, and the same with Chicago. What are you talking about? What do you
Oh,
think
no,
Chicago is?
I live in a place where there's 2 modes of weather, and that's all we need.
What, rain and not rain?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
The not rain
Pizza
days are
gets
great.
wet then.
You don't go outside.
True. Yeah.
Are we settled on pizza then?
I think we're good on pizza. I think the fans, they are
The fans are
satiated.
satisfied.
I hope so.
It's
They better be.
we're over 2 hours.
I hope they're ready to
We're over
hear
2 hours.
more about pizza watching Summon this week because we're going to be
Oh,
giving out Papa John's a lot.
no more mate mate.
Are you
Just
gonna-
Papa John's.
I don't think Mate is a
They-
sponsor this time around.
They're on the Dota things now.
Oh.
Oh, word.
Respectable.
Okay, cool.
Now, are you going to be taking a bite of Papa John's live on camera?
I mean, I would do it.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not like a pizza snob. I'll eat shitty pizza.
Whoa, but
Papa
Papa
John's
John's
is-
is not shitty pizza.
Right.
Well, the
exactly.
fact that you would eat shitty pizza means that you would eat delicious pizza, which is
Yeah.
Papa John's.
Right.
Of course.
Exactly.
I'll eat any kind of pizza. I will eat. Oh man, there's some pizzas out there. I'll tell you what. There's some frozen pizzas in Canada that I've been buying, and I
Do you want
not
to drop a
think-
brand?
I don't even, I can't even tell you what the brand is. It's like store brand,
It's
like
just
generic.
Frozen
types.
pizza from Canada.
Unbranded. It just
For
says
some reason, Canada doesn't
pizza.
have like a good frozen pizza selection. They have like Delicioso, which is like fine. I guess.
maybe that needs to change. Maybe we're the ones to bring it into there. The Melee Stats frozen pizza. It's finally time we branch out.
Expand the brand.
We need to. Edwin, get Edwin on the phone.
Come
Oh, on
on.
the phone? No,
We're gonna email him about this.
I'll send a
We'll
letter.
send him a letter.
We'll send him a
Is there a
letter.
delivery pigeon around here?
Fax it.
So we're running near the end of the show. We were just talking about basil. We're going to, for our last segment here, we're going to talk about another green thing that grows in the ground. Of course, we're talking about the officially unnamed segment, but affectionately known to fans as touching grass.
Congrats.
We are multifaceted human beings, all of us here. Of course, Melee is what brings us together. We talk about Melee a lot, but we got a lot going on for ourselves.
Yeah.
So this is where we can talk about what's been going on in our lives recently that does not revolve around Melee. I'm going to go first to give you guys some time to think.
Cool.
What I've been watching recently on the lead up to Summit, including in the airport, I watched a series of videos from a YouTuber named GeoWizard, formerly GeoGuessr Wizard.
Oh, yeah.
A GeoGuessr player, but also someone who branched out into live form, like videos.
Those are the coolest videos.
They are, and the ones that I've been watching, I watched his, I believe, third trek across Wales in a straight line, his third attempt to do Wales in a straight line. Those are always amazing. He's done it for Scotland, he's done it for Norway, I think. It's just really cool to see, it all put together. It's just a really good watch. I love doing it. I turn off all the lights in my room. I watch him at 1 a.m. or something. It's for whatever reason, it's very fun to watch. But we've already used him before. I think that was one of the first touching grasses I used. So I will not use him.
Okay.
I will use a different one, which actually
already.
Yeah, give him a huge.
Well, no, that's not my touching grass.
Okay,
But
we're
this
just talking.
This goes to the that does not go on the Manly Stats Wiki. It's touching grass, which, by the way, I want you to create and keep up.
Oh,
Sure.
Get to an intern. Come on.
And it'll be for free. If Wikipedia does it for free, you do it for free. I'll have like a picture of you on the banner, and it says like, please donate $2. I'll do that.
But you look really sad.
But
Bleeding eyes.
But you also have to look. You have to have like dignity. You've got to have quiet dignity.
That's
What
a
is your
one.
touching grass?
My touching grass is there is an album that I've been listening to a lot. I listen to it here in California. I listen to it while walking around the neighborhood of this undisclosed location. And it was a really beautiful day, nice breeze, really beautiful to listen to this album. There's a Swedish singer named Jens Leffen who created a lot of sample-based singer-songwriter albums in the 2000s and to present. And in the past few years, the clearances for a lot of these samples has been up in the air. So he actually took off 2 of his albums off of streaming services and remade them.
Holy smokes.
So it's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the album that I recommend from him, it was formerly called Night Falls Over Cortadala. It's now called The Linden Trees Are Still in Blossom. It is his best album. It also sounds really similar to the first one he put out. So if you want to find that one on YouTube, it'll sound very similar. The album that he put out along with that is called The Cherry Trees Are Still in Blossom. And it sounds so different than the first one he put out because it is all stripped back. It's acoustic, it's piano. And it's these really interesting takes on songs that don't really sound like that. And I was listening to that one specifically while walking around a nice little tiny suburb where I've never been on a beautiful sunny day with like the wind blowing on me. It was a great experience. I would suggest if anyone listens to those and likes them, you can't find them online through streaming services, but if you want to purchase the CD, fuck it, I don't know. You can do so, or if you can probably find it all on YouTube. I was just looking at both because it's really cool to see like 20 years ago and today, like how he views those songs and like, the spins he puts on them. I think it's really cool. I think there's also like a podcast I listen to where he talked about how he felt about making both of those, like remaking them. So that was really cool. That was my touching grass moment.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Weber, you've been doing a lot of stuff outside of Melee. What's been going on with you?
Yeah, so I got a couple of things. First of all, I got married. Where are we? Here.
That.
Over here.
I got married to my wonderful, handsome, amazing spouse,
Yeah.
AJ Spoopy, another member of the Melee community.
And they made an amazing shirt recently.
They make some great merch.
Yes.
They made some merch for the Emerald City shop.
Yes.
It's cool.
They've actually been doing a lot of different merch, tournament merch lately.
Oh my
goodness.
I don't have any of the merch. I sorry to
I'm really excited.
bring that up. But the other thing that I've been doing lately is I've been getting super into disc golf.
Disc golf rules.
Disc golf is amazing. If you're trying to like find a casual like outdoor sport to get into that's not like super physically intensive,
Yeah, it's competitive hiking.
it is. You go to just beautiful parks where they're if you go to some of the nicer ones, they're incredibly well taken care of. Oftentimes it'll be like exclusive too, where it's not like a walking path nearby or anything. It'll just be like a course essentially that is run by like a public city or something like that. They're everywhere. People you might see the baskets near wherever you live and
I've seen
not even
baskets.
know what the hell it is, but yeah, it's just like a basket with chains and a metal thing that the disc falls into. This is a putter. This is my Berg. I brought just one disc on this trip. Yeah, absolutely. Just in case, I wasn't sure if we would be like near a course or something, but thought maybe if I had some time, I'd go like just throw it for fun.
What's the difference between the types of frisbees?
So
They throw it.
yeah, it's like
I'm setting him up.
you're asking me a lot. I can talk about this for a while. But essentially, when you throw, you can just throw backhand, forehand. Then they have different flight patterns. So when you throw it, the more spin it has, the more it will follow its flight pattern. So it'll hold on a line if you're able to generate a lot of spin before finishing and like a predictable pattern. And so
this putter right here.
this is so this Berg is primarily for putt and approach. So you throw this maybe on like a 150-foot approach shot where you want to get the circle one, which is within 30 feet of the basket. And then you would line up and try to throw it directly into the basket. I mean, I could talk literally about disc golf forever.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, if you're
You know
interested
what?
at
If
all,
you want to start your own podcast, we will retweet you.
I can guarantee
I'm
that.
not into that.
And you know what? We will give you a Melee Stats, at very least a Melee Stats affiliated guest within the first 3 episodes.
You're talking my language. But yeah, if this piques your interest at all, pretty easy to find out more about it. But I recommend checking out the channel Jomez Pro on YouTube. They do a great job with tournament coverage and also just like general stuff around like the pro scene in it, and about more casual stuff too. It's not just pro focused and stuff like that.
Would you call it the melee stats of disc golf?
We should call it
Not
turn down for
Walt.
Walt. Disc golf.
Yeah, I might call it something like the turn out of Walt. Maybe if Walt were to host a tournament on his channel, then it would be more along those lines. Because they do a lot of that.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the level 1 or like the Melee Grade A or something like that of disc golf. Yeah, it has a lot of similarities to Melee because it started off as very small and grassroots, and it's kind of like grown.
And one more time, the channel.
Jomez Pro is the YouTube channel that I recommend checking out. Yeah, cool game, fun, a lot of fun to play.
Connor.
A month ago, I was also going disc golfing pretty frequently
Awesome.
in Portland and
Nice.
climbing and all this fun stuff. And then I had to get my gallbladder removed, so I haven't done a whole lot of touching of grass, literally, in the last month because I was recovering from that. Still sort of on the tail end of recovery for that, and then Genesis, and then I got COVID, which sucked. So I haven't been touching much grass, but I've been following. Baseball started beginning of April or end of March. There was a lockout, and that was resolved. Baseball started. I like baseball. The A's are very bad, as per the norm, but they're still fun to watch. So I'll say that my touching grass has been watching baseball, really quite casually. But
That's cool. Planning on going to any A's games?
I
this year?
actually am. I'm hoping to go to one of the A's versus Yankees games in August with my buddy who's a Yankees fan
Wow.
from New York. Slimy. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
They're on level 1.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
They were at Genesis running some stuff.
they were helping doing production stuff backstage.
Very cool. I hope you catch a home run
I do too.
or like a foul ball.
That'd also be sick.
A Tony Kemp home run would be.
Apparently, my sister got really good seats from her work to the Phillies.
Okay.
And apparently, those really good seats weren't as good as. I think she happened to get like another pair of tickets years ago or whatever, and her daughters were like, "Oh, we're not going to be in like the box." They were 3rd row behind the dugout, I think, and it's like
they were like pissed.
it's like, "Oh, I thought we were in a box. What's going on here? Like why am I even here?" So yeah,
Watch the game.
you can watch the game on TV. They have TV.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get Ian to one of the dugouts or the or maybe a box.
Not a box.
Oakland Coliseum's there's been talk about very low attendance, so maybe so, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just walk your way down there.
Walk my way in. Yeah. Maybe I'll just walk in for free.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Confidently.
That's all it takes.
That's
confidence.
Yeah, that's all.
I'll get back to actually touching grass soon, hopefully, but I'm still sort of taking it easy.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, hopefully you get back.
An SF. Now, keep in mind, you are employed by Melee Stats. Now,
What's that supposed to mean?
well, if just remember that, like, don't talk about all these things because I might start to worry if you do all this stuff. When's
Oh
your
my-
time? Where do you
God.
find the time to do all this to do melee work?
You need to put in your 80 hours a day.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will compensate for it too.
you were doing
15 cents an
what?
hour.
You went to see your grandparents? SF, is that why the tweet was late?
When do you find time to touch grass?
Yeah, what do you do?
Am I allowed to talk about everything everywhere all at once?
Yes, this
I haven't
has
seen it.
this
I won't talk about
spoiler free.
That's awesome.
I maybe the best movie I've seen. I agree with you in the last 5 years.
Okay. Because
Maybe
I did say 5 years, and then you said in the pandemic. And
Well,
I
then
was like,
I saw it again. So I first saw it first with my mom a few days ago because she had to get an IUD removed. which is that was very whatever. I can't relate to it. So, but it was amazing then. I was like, this is the best movie I've seen since 2019. Probably it's come out since 2019. Because I like Parasite came out then. It was amazing. And then I saw it again with my roommate, and it was somehow even like more just like amazing.
Also had an idea. As I was just like, I know what to do for this scenario.
I've got a remedy for you.
No way. I know what to do.
All you need to do after
I'm an expert.
has worked 100% of the time in my experience.
But you see with your roommate,
and it was about even more just like impactful and just like more like, oh, it's so good. So I'm pretty sure it's the best movie that's come out in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm glad you were on my side with this.
100% on your side. I'm just so shocked. It's just like, oh.
I'm also a Twicer. Does that mean I listen twice?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you K-pop guy?
Sure. I guess. I don't know. I'm not anti-K-pop.
Wow.
Bold stats. No, I also have seen it twice. One of the few movies I saw twice in theaters. Do you know the other one?
With Stu, right? Or movies you've seen twice in theaters.
Yeah, there's only two.
I
One
don't
of
know.
them. Second one is Mission Impossible Fallout.
That's a good one.
I was gonna guess that.
Incredible movie.
Yeah.
No, but it's an incredible movie. It's something that worked great. Second watch, I was like, oh, okay, I knew everything that was happening, and it still hit me all the same.
All of like jokes and humor just still like land so well.
Everything they did. This is, I believe, the third time this came up on our podcast as a Chuck and Grass moment. So this might.
I have another
new
one.
record.
I can have another thing you mentioned if you know that's like I don't want to.
Intern having two.
Don't get comfortable.
Just gotta
It is.
nip it in the bud next time. That movie
I feel
comes
bad
out.
about JD. Late for
That's
producer.
True. Speaking of people under the melee stats, Umbrella.
Another official underling.
Of course.
Have you ever seen the kid that, this is a spoiler for Snowpiercer, but the kid that's cranking the thing at the end?
Mm-hmm.
JD's that.
Oh no, that's awful. Oh my god.
It works without him.
Jesus
So, very quickly
no.
speaking about spoilers, there is a skit. I don't know the skit, but there's a skit that I've heard Ken Chen walk around, and he keeps going, do you know, he's like, we're doing a skit. He's all happy about it. We're doing a skit. Have you ever seen this movie? And every person who he said no. And he goes, okay, well, it's a spoiler for the movie. And so I am really
That is such a Ken Chen classic.
I guess I'll say the movie. Yeah.
I am very interested in watching this skit that, one, is a spoiler for a movie that like no one has seen, and like two, I'm just like what do you do in that scenario? Like, how do you make a skit out of something where like literally every person is like, you know this movie, right? And it's like they're like, no. Okay, well, here's the premise. Here's the premise, and then here's the entire movie. Here's the spoiler. It is, I'm very interested to see this, but of course we have to wait till Summit to watch it.
Yeah.
You'll have to tune in this weekend at twitch.tv/BTS Smash, sponsored by Coinbase and Papa John's.
The television
and Red Bull.
There you go. Hey, keep going. Where can people find you?
No, don't find me. I don't want to be perceived.
Where can
You can
people
find
find?
Week and Co at
I'll do it.
Stats Podcast.
No, you can't do the same way
He's so couth.
I don't know. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm sure it's on the little overlay.
Yeah. What about level
I
one?
don't tweet interesting
level
things.
one, yeah.
Oh, level 1. Good point. You can follow Level 1 TV, the phoenix that rises from the ashes of Endgame TV, which you may have heard of.
I feel like a lot of people know about Endgame.
No, I hope so.
Yeah,
I
Endgame
don't know.
TV. We've done a lot of Smash, lots of
You can find us at level1_TV or at level1.tv or at twitch.tv/level1_TV. Our next thing is Smash Camp Oregon. There's more details coming soon, very soon.
Very excited. So you can follow honestly, probably one of the best tournaments to go to this year if you're able to make it. So I would say
It's gonna fill up quick.
It's gonna fill up quick.
Really,
If you want to be involved in this, which you should be, definitely follow because all the information from there, and that's where you're gonna hear it first.
Yeah.
Webs.
yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I don't really use it a ton, but
Yeah.
I'll go on it once in a while. And at this weekend, I will be on Twitter because I'm at an event. Usually, that's the main time I actually am using Twitter is when I'm physically at tournaments. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, and if you want to check the Ontario disc golf tournament results, I'm going to be interested in the tournaments this summer. So
Cool.
Track my progress. Yeah, I do.
I think SF will be tracking it.
Yeah,
he's got the spreadsheet ready.
Last night in Melee.
Last
And a
night,
disc golf tournament.
yeah, that's totally. In the MA2 division, the Island Open. That's how the DGC.
SF, this is a question. Answer it wisely. Where can people find you?
At Melee Stats Pod
There you go.
on Twitter.com because I don't have a Twitter otherwise.
There you
'cause,
go.
I would not tweet otherwise if not for having being charged.
Also Reddit, right?
And yeah, you can find me at Reddit.
Correcting people.
You /self-flagellate.
More likely, you will find them on Reddit.
Oh my God.
If they say the wrong
If they say the wrong thing,
Yeah.
you.
you pop up in a second.
Yeah.
No offense to what's it? Money.
It was Steech.
See, I don't know who that is. Oh, I knew Mom Money back then. I knew who Prestige was.
Oh, man.
Thanks for
Melee Stats Pod, an amazing Twitter. If you can follow that, as of course. If you want to see episodes of this, we're live on twitch.tv/Melee Stats. Episodes go on YouTube afterwards to the Melee Stats archive. You can follow us on over on YouTube at Melee Stats if you want to watch our long form content. You should look at the camera while doing this.
content.
Of course, our Twitter. It's also going to send links to meleestats.co. That's our website where you can find articles such as When's Melee and Monday Morning Marth. And if you love everything you do and you just want to support us, patreon.com/Melee Stats. This this is a great episode. I appreciate all of you being on. Of course, there is a Fendi-sized hole in all of our hearts, but you know what?
No, it's been
This entire
replaced
time-
and then some.
This entire time, I didn't feel exactly. I didn't feel like we missed anything. In fact, we had an overabundance of fun this episode. Thanks all for being on. I know this is a time you're not in Summit. I know, but, so you're. This is the best thing you're doing.
Right,
I know that there's a lot going on, so I do appreciate you guys coming through, and I appreciate you guys watching because this is a time where you could watch like Hungrybox live stream from Summit or something
Yeah,
like that.
true, actually.
So if you're in the chat, I really appreciate you seeing this. And then we will catch you next week because I am sure, whatever happens here, we will have so much to talk about. So I will see you then. Thanks for sticking around. Peace.
Peace out.